What is going on, everybody? It is Primetime MMA 42. I am your host, Cyrus the Looney. We have a crazy night of fights ahead of us. FSK Fadnader up against TFA Big Nige contender matchup. These guys will be fighting the champion in the next defense of the Xbox Championship. Joining me in the booth, however, this evening is Mr. Humbledink. How you doing, brother?
Always a pleasure to be here, and I'm doing great. Ready for another amazing set of primetime guarantee fights, of course. There's some absolute bangers on this card. I've got to look at the PlayStation side, and you've got to look at that Zigote versus Naz fight there. That's going to be an incredible one. Old coach of mine, Zigote, excellent striker, fighting Naz. You know, Naz, a very popular figure amongst the community with his influence with TikTok and a lot of other stuff that he does. And you've got Skitch versus Mix-Ups. What a fight that is. You've got some just absolute shockers and bangers amongst this card, but I guarantee, as always, Cyrus, we never had a bad fight last week. Let's hopefully that continues again and we just have an amazing card going forward.
Wouldn't expect anything less, brother. As you said, on the Xbox side of things, got FSK Fadnader, of course, Big Nige in the main event itself. These two guys have quite clearly proven themselves. Fadnader especially has been around the scene for a very, very long time. An established veteran, was champion up until very, very recently, lost his belt, and is obviously on that track now to try and get that back. Obviously, he wants that rematch with Trixie. He was calling for it quite heavily, but has to go through a bit of a killer's row here up against somebody that's been a big supporter of Fadnader, as Fadnader has been of Big Nige. It's a lot of love between these two guys, but they're high-level competitors trying to fight for that belt, and I'm interested to see what Big Nige can do out there, Humble. He's a kid that's come up, I think he's like 7-1 or something at the moment. He has literally been on a tear, just kind of on the low-key, and he's got himself into this point now, and it's going to be really, really nice to see what he's able to do up against somebody he's very familiar with.
Yeah, 100%. He is 7-1, and then you got Fadnader 8-1, and he's only losses to Trixie in this season. But 7-1 versus 8-1, couldn't get any better than that at the moment in the primetime Xbox division, because these two, their only blemish on their records is that one, and you know this is going to determine the number one contender. Fadnader wants that Trixie fight back after losing to him and him alone a few times, and Big Nige wants to prove to everybody that he's ready for the big leagues, the big time, and the main event picture. And then we've just had some news in as well that we're going to be getting a replacement fight in the co-main event, and it is an absolute banger of a replacement fight. We've got Big Big Balls Ned versus Josh Ray, the former PlayStation champion, has jumped in last second to take that fight on, and that's going to be extraordinary going forward.
Hells yes, brother. Well, I think that's a nice little forecast of some of the fights. Obviously, there are many, many more bangers on this card as a whole, but to start us out, we're going to be on the PlayStation side of things with Purple Urkel, a man that's been around the scene for a little while now, been doing some great work out here, up against somebody I'm a little bit less familiar with in Cujo. These guys are in welterweight, they're humble, and it looks like we're having a GSP up against Kamaru Usman, which I think is a pretty fun matchup there, brother.
Yeah, definitely always an all-time classic when you see a PlayStation fighting with GSP versus an Usman, but he's changed his pick to Wonderboy, I believe. Purple Urkel coming into this one, he kind of needs a win as well, and he's welcoming a newcomer, somebody who's talked a lot in the build-up to this one. He's not shut up, basically, and he's French. You know them French guys are. We've got Skitch, we've got Dan Freeman, there's a few other guys there that have come through, and there's no shortage in them in that league because of the amount of work in the esports community that certain leagues have done, and LAN events as well there. So you've got quite a big following in the European and the French leagues, and they want to make a statement. And Purple Urkel's here to say, I'm a veteran of this league. You're not coming in, you're not coming to take my spot, and you're not going to add to your record against mine. And he's doing it with Thompson. Can you tell us a bit more about Thompson, Cyrus?
Obviously, fantastic striker, got that wide stance, and I was surprised to see the pick of Kamaru Usman to start off with him. You know, it's good that he switched up to Wonderboy, just because it, kind of accentuates his style. He's somebody that really likes to rely on his hands, plays the outside game pretty well, and often turns up the pressure. Just like that, he likes to take the center, take charge, and then just make sure his opponent feels his pressure. But as you mentioned, from leagues like Fury and so on, they are coming through pretty hard, and we've seen a lot of talented Frenchmen come out here and do some great work. Right now, Cujo seems pretty composed, lands a lot of 1-2s down the middle, humble, and he seems to be beating Thompson to the punch so far.
Yeah, you said that. It might just take a bit of figuring out here from Purple Urkel, because his opponent seems to be throwing a lot from that outside, and it's not hard to kind of make your opponent whiff those shots, especially when you've already got that space between you and the length between you. So Purple Urkel just needs to gather himself here and figure out the timing, because it seems that the counter fighting, is going to be from GSP and from Cujo. Purple Urkel just needs to do what he needs to do and not rush into anything. It's simple as that.
Yeah, right now I'm quite liking what I'm seeing from Cujo. He's in a couple of moments he's throwing some weird shots a little bit outside the pocket, but just like that, he uses the straight really well. Humble mixes in with a couple of hooks just to stop some of that head movement, and they seem to be adding up. But with me saying that, brother, Purple Urkel still got that stamina very high. He isn't getting dissuaded, and as long as he doesn't get caught with nothing too big, he may end up winning the stamina battle in the later parts of the second round or third round, and be able to squeak out a victory like that.
Yeah, there's nothing more annoying when your opponent just keeps doing the same thing over and over again, and it kind of works, and you can't quite get the timing or quite counter them. Yeah. It's one of those frustrating things at the moment. From my perspective, I'm not seeing a lot from Kurju, but it's a lot of the basics, and he's doing the same thing over and over again, and it's kind of working for him. Purple Urkel needs to show his class here. He's going to show his veteran savvy and make some adjustments. At the moment, what he's doing is kind of not working. He's not using his footwork well enough, in my opinion. He's not making his opponent whiff the shots that he needs to be making them with. And the counters aren't there. The counters are the key. When somebody's doing the same pattern over and over again, you need to be able to read that pattern and make the necessary adjustments to then stun them, to make them change up the pattern for you. But he's not doing that at the moment, but he's trying his best.
Yeah, I agree with you. That spinning back kick to the body has been his best strike so far. But I feel like he's maybe just trying to box a little bit too much with GSP Humble, and maybe a couple of teeps just like that, some leg kicks mixed in. It'll set up a lot of options for him should he start kind of really putting some money in the bank, so to speak.
Yeah, 100%. The double jabs there as well, but he's not kind of doing that. His opponent against from them 1-2s, 1-2, 1-2, 1 hook, 1-2, 1-2. He just needs to be timing these now. Obviously, the leg kicks are there as well if he needs to do that. But Cujo doing a good job on the outside at the moment, just keeping his distance. Looks like he's not going to divert from that game plan. He's not going to change course, because Purple Urkel's not giving him anything to make him change course, yeah. Cyrus.
He's having a lot of problems right now, Purple Urkel is, but I feel like he's almost allowing it. I feel like he's banking on that stamina. We've seen him in the past, kind of, if he's not taking too much damage, he doesn't seem to change the course of the fight. He seems to rely on the fact that he can take it into the later rounds and win there. But that was a nice takedown from Cujo, and I was thinking to myself that obviously with the GSP pick, He needs to mix in some grappling to go with the 1-2s that he's throwing down the middle there, Humble. It's just going to allow him to continue to keep his opponent off guard, but he wasn't able to keep him there.
It is. You've got to be careful as well, though, if you're not a very good grappler and you start using that grappling. Just because sometimes when my opponents beat me on my feet and they take me down just because they can, or it's MMA, I realise that they do the same thing over and over again, or they've got a certain pattern that they do, and all of a sudden I'm starting to beat them on the ground with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson or Purple Hercules. So clever from St. Pierre to get back to his feet there and Cujo, because he's winning the counter attack battle at the moment, and why wouldn't he keep it to the same position he's already won the fight?
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like Purple Urkel now is using the teeps a lot more. That spin kick to the body is once again there. His opponent Cujo continues to circle to the to the outside, and that means that the tracking is pretty much always going to be good on that spin kick. Big miss, and a hook lands into a head kick. He is pressuring forward. Not enough stamina to get him out of there, Humble, but a nice big moment for Cujo, and one that was pretty much needed to put a big cherry on top of this round for him.
Yeah, definitely. For me, at the moment, though, if I'm Purple Urkel, I'm starting to really dig into that body. I'm starting to really slow his momentum down, because the stamina is starting to flow away with Cujo, especially the whiffs from the distance. I'm going to try and make him miss some shots. I'm going to try and hit that body a bit more. But great fight so far in the prime time. First fight of this evening, Cyrus, always a banger.
Yeah, nice to start it out. These guys, come in primarily with a striking game, and I'm never really opposed to seeing two guys fight it out on the feet for sure. Nice spin kick once again from Purple Urkel. Really, really dig into the well now on GSP, and much time takedown for him at the end of the round. Not going to be able to get anything going with it, Humble, but once again just stops him taking any more damage, gets his opponent down for a couple of seconds, looks good in the eyes of the judges. I mean, he solidly won that round in my opinion. Maybe not the cleanest way, but definitely an effective way, and way that Purple Urkel struggled to kind of overcome. Yeah,
definitely. If I'm Purple Urkel, I'm trying to, because you've got success going to the body, you've had success with the stamina. If you can continue keeping that up, the third round's going to look good, but you've got to make sure you win this round, because that first round was so close. Cujo's got to do a lot of the same stuff. Maybe mix it up and be a bit more efficient with his striking, because he missed a lot of shots there, and he's been hit to the body a lot as well, Cyrus. That body is going to get weaker as the fight goes on. It's also going to affect your stamina as you're whiffing shots if you're getting hit there.
Yeah, completely agree with you. Purple Urkel, though, his head is kind of mirrored to George St. Pierre's body health in that regard. Another takedown attempt, successful with the ankle pick. Lovely work from him. I think that this is like I said, it's an intelligent game plan, Humble. Just mixing it up, taking him down. His stamina's starting to go. This can be a lot of stamina exerted, or if you're able to impose a little bit of will and just go for some position, you could ride out a good section of the round without burning through that stamina, allowing you to go into that third round a little bit more cleanly.
Yeah, just as you said there, if you're striking's kind of, you're winning the striking battle, but you're exerting way too much energy, and you can kind of have 30-40 second spells on the grappling, it's going to also eat the clock, which is, if you can't get your opponent out there, you're going to start to win the rounds a bit more efficiently if you don't get too hurt to the body, or your stamina doesn't go too much. The grappling's there. It's mixed martial arts at the end of the day. Cyrus, this is what we need. You need to mix them striking, them grappling, and you just don't want to get caught on a counter for that, because someone can go at the body, and you know what that's like. You've gone from high vulnerability, and your body's gone, and all of a sudden it's gone. Nice rock right there.
Oh, and he sits him down a big head kick. That's it. George St. Pierre, Cujo, made me a little bit of jitters. He didn't, come out here looking massively clean, like you said, or going too crazy with things, Humble. Kept it fairly fundamental. A lot of 1-2s, mixing in some random hooks, and eventually was able to add that up with a couple of head kicks to put Purple Urkel down for the final time in that second round, brother.
Yeah, 100%. Great adjustment right there from Cujo. We were talking about Purple Urkel needed to make the adjustment, but it ends up being Cujo who just decides, you know what, I'm going to come forward, I'm going to start to, once I hurt you, he did a great job of finishing his opponent once he hurt him, and that head kick, one of my favourite specials right there. When you're against that fence, you get dropped down, the extra damage comes in. You just can't be against the fence when you get caught with a head kick. It's just a nightmare situation to be in.
Yeah, and excellent point. Sometimes having a little bit of an advantage in terms of the footwork, making sure that you're circling and getting back to that center of the cage can allow you to stay in the fight for a little bit longer. A little bit unfortunate, of course, for Purple Urkel. He gets taken out by a newcomer to the league who like I said, he used a lot of 1-2s, a lot of fundamentals, but he kept it simple and it worked for him. So we'll have to see how he advances going forward. He picks up a nice first win though, and I'm sure he's going to be very happy with that. Either way, a win's a win, brother.
100% happy win. There's a lot of improvements that I can see in there that he can make as well. Now he's amongst the community, amongst all these guys. He's only going to grow from here on out. But what a great fight to start us off, and always the primetime guarantee. We move to the next fight of the card. It's going to be Aaron versus Capellotti. Can you tell us a bit more about these guys, Cyrus?
Well. Sorry, just a little bit of a notice as you were calling that out, brother. It appears that Aaron is no longer fighting KM Capellotti. He's actually going to be fighting one of the most fan-friendly favorites in primetime MMA history, in Rasputin, brother. That's what I'm hearing. So we're gonna have Aaron out here, a man that's talked a lot. He likes to back it up. Had a tough outing in his last one. Looking to get some redemption here this evening with a pick of Edson Barboza, if he doesn't decide to switch it up, of course. And he is up against AJS's Rasputin. As I'm sure you know, Humble, this man has, you know, a large following because he has a pretty entertaining style. He is a man that went, at one point, he went 0-6 to come back, I think, ending the season on an 8-6 or like an 8-7. He always digs deep. He's never going to get dissuaded by his losses. Always decides to learn from them instead, and that's why we continue to see advancements in his game. We'll have to see if those advancements have been enough to beat Aaron here this evening, though, because he is coming out with a point to prove and expects to have a big performance here this evening. There.
Yeah, 100%. And we've got Rara coming in as well. He's 4-4 at the moment in the primetime division. Coming off a win over K5 Fired. And Aaron really needs to make a statement. He's currently 0-1 so far in this division. Didn't get to fight last week due to some issues. So I know he wants to get the rounds, and he's told me this already. He really just wants to get rounds into primetime and kind of go from there. So he's not looking to rush this one. He'll try and make it go to a decision if he can do that. But Rara, I can guarantee Rara is going to try and come out here and take his head off as always.
Yes, sir. On the feet, he's worked on his outside game a little bit. He likes to attack those legs. Some of the bigger strengths of his has been the resiliency and the ability to continue to take his opponents down at will. That one is successful, and a big moment for Rasputin in the opening 30 seconds, Humble. He's going to have to keep his opponent here for some time and get some of this ground and pound off for it to really count for something, but not able to do it on this one, brother.
Yeah, good opening as well to kind of make your opponent worry about the takedown immediately with the Sun Sao. You've lost that range. You've lost the kicking battle already because of the amount of power that Barboza has. So sets up the hands again. If you're going to go back up to the feet, obviously you can start using those hands. Your opponent thinks you're going for a takedown, and you can mix it up. But great work from Aaron right now as he reverses that takedown right there. Didn't get much damage off, but goes back to the body with a knee right there, Cyrus.
Yeah. Right, this is where Aaron wants to be. He likes to strike. Ooh. Nice front kick, attacks to the body. The little side kick sits him on his butt for a moment. Couple of knees to the face, and obviously that's where Rara wants. He wants to make the fight dirty. More for Aaron, he wants to continue to fight with the outside, attack his opponent with some long-rangey shots, and then get a little bit flashy with his combinations. But it can be a little bit problematic against somebody like Rara there, Humble, because he's so unorthodox that he comes at you from some really weird angles.
Yeah, 100%. You've got to be careful, though, because them failed takedowns, the body shots that Aaron's going, he's got a very high kick power. So, you know, that's where you get really damaged when you miss those takedowns. You get caught to a body shot. But I like what I'm seeing from Aaron at the moment. He knows that his best chance is on the feet. He's doing a good job of backing up. He's doing a good job of hitting the body and kind of win the rounds. He's not rushing things, and I think that's really important when you're fighting somebody that's constantly trying to take you down. Is you've got to win majority of those takedown defenses. You've got to win most of them, and when he keeps you down, you just can't be on your back for too long, and that's what I believe I'm seeing at the moment. But great work right there from Rara, going back to the body. Cyrus is really damaging that body at the moment. He's starting to focus on that as well. Yeah, that lead body roundhouse has been money for him, but we're seeing Edson Barboza answer back with a couple of knees to the body as well. I think that's honestly where Rara's keeping this fight equal, because as you said, Aaron seems to be the better fighter on the feet. Quite clearly, some head movement, some nice striking and combinations are coming out, but the overall mix-ups that I'm seeing from Rara, that lead body roundhouse, the takedown attempts, the clinch attempts, they're all keeping Aaron just not on his A game. I feel like he's just second guessing himself a little bit out here, Humble, and maybe not getting into the flow state that he needs to really put it on his opponent. 100%. Nice kick to the body right there from Aaron. He needs to be careful starting to whiff shots. Those lead body kicks as well. Beautiful example of how to it's obviously the lead leg's closer, so it lands a lot quicker, and it also cuts your opponent off when they're circling to the left. So if you see every time Barbosa is circling towards the camera, you can see Rara really trying to utilize those lead body kicks. You can also throw the straight after, which is utilized a few times as well. But it's draining Barbosa every single time he loads up for a shot and he gets caught one of them body kicks. It will zaps his stamina down, and that stamina bar just goes a slightly bit down a bit more, and that's how Rara's kind of took over that round for me. It was a great round for Rara.
Yeah, and you've got obviously another thing to factor into that as well there, Humble, is that Aaron is using a lot of kicks, as you would expect, right? Being somebody like Edson Barboza. But the combination of the kicks that he's throwing, the amount of them, and of course the body work that is coming the way of Rara Rasputin has meant that he's in a pretty dire position going into the second round. I'm sure his recovery will be decent, but Edson is an explosive guy. Those high skill techniques, the 5-star techniques, they come at a cost of high stamina. And that's something I believe is playing a factor in this bout.
No touch your gloves right there, and I do believe you're completely right. He's got to start utilizing those side steps and use a lot less movement at the moment, because he's kind of walking into the shots rather than walking in the shots. Sometimes you've got to plant your feet and kind of hold your ground to make your opponent back up, so then you can dictate where they're going and you can dictate your shots. Obviously, every time you're walking into something, it's going to drain that slight bit more. Got to be careful right now. We're going to see the adjustment though from Aaron as we move forward in this fight.
Yeah, obviously the biggest adjustment he needs to make is to start to block that body, brother, because Rara has gone to the well so many times and he seems to be struggling to block it. But nice takedown from Rara. Can he hold him here? This time he can, and the stamina is very, very low for Aaron. There's 3 minutes 45 on the clock. Plenty of time to tap him out if the tracking is good. But the defense seems on point so far, brother. He's able to get his opponent to bail on it just after a couple of seconds of some nice movements.
Bit of an experience there from Aaron as well, as he tries to get out immediately. Now he's going to get put in a rubber guard, and I wonder if this is going to change. No, it's not. Sometimes that could change to a thing, but he's gone for an armbar right now, I believe, as he's tracking his opponent. This is going to be close. The bars are going next to each other. He's chasing him. He's going to the right. He's going to the left. He's pushing it around his head right now. He's going to get the chain. It's nearly done. It's on, Cyrus.
Yeah,
he's going.
He stops the slam, brother, which is the biggest moment. He may get a couple of strikes in on his opponent to stretch out that arm, and he does. This submission is done. It looks like he's got the armbar. Second round, Rara Rasputin. He's got to be over the moon with that performance. God damn, he came out tonight and executed a game plan that quite clearly he felt he could win with. And he was right.
There's nothing better than the feeling of jumping in there, last second, getting told you're fighting, going in, and then having a performance like that where you end up finishing your opponent in the second round. Great performance. Aaron needs to go back to the drawing board and obviously work on some of them. He was a bit too quick to try and stand up, especially with that low stamina, Cyrus, and obviously that cost him, because when his opponent decided, I'm going to block that, it was an easy submission attempt for him to go for right there. And I don't believe Aaron's submission defense is bad at all. I just believe that the option for him to try and transition out there instead of holding his ground and being a bit more static should have been a bit more. He should have been on his thoughts a bit more, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, completely agree. Obviously, a lot of things to factor in for Aaron there. Sometimes, talking a lot can put some extra pressure on your back as well, and sometimes, that can really come out to play in the fight itself. I'm sure that's not the best performance we're going to see out of Aaron. He'll come back better than ever. Obviously, tonight was Rara's, and one thing to factor in as well there. I don't know if you agree, Humble, but sometimes stepping in on short notice, there's no nerves, because it's that last second, right? So you're in the fight before you know it, and you're performing like that. So all respect to Rara Rasputin, another W in in the bag. I can't wait to get on to the next one. We have KM Valentine making his return after some long travels up against TMF's very own Noggin. I'm not obviously too familiar with TMF's Noggin. I haven't fought him. TMF are growing quite a lot, and they have a lot of newer members. But KM Valentine, obviously a man I'm very familiar with. Been performing with us for a very long time. Obviously, one of the guys in the commentary booth with ourselves in the past as well there, Humble. I'm interested to see what he's been able to hold on to, because it's been a long time since he's been actively competing, and maybe there's a little bit of ring rust, maybe not. When there's not, he's a dangerous man.
Yeah, of course, and that's the thing, isn't it? That ring rust, does it exist? Does it not exist? Sometimes I perform better when I come back from that. You've got Noggin as well, who's currently 2-1 in that division. Both these guys, a lot of mutual respect when I talked to both of them earlier on. Valentine said he's a great striker. TMF Noggin said he's a great striker as well. We're going to respect him. We're going to see who the better man is. So a lot of mutual respect going into this fight from both of them. But Noggin's got a chance here to go 3-1, which would push him into that just below the bubble of getting into the top 15, you know, and that's everyone's goal in this division, to get to the top 15, to start fighting them upper echelon of fighters. And when you start getting there and to those positions, the fights get better, you move higher up the card, and that's what Noggin's facing today. Can he prove to PrimeTime and prove to himself that he's worth to go forward and fight in these bigger cards? And that's the question we've got in front of us right now.
Yeah, there's a big opportunity for him. This is would be a very, very nice feather in his cap. KM's owner, Mr. Valentine, going with Paul Felder. You love to see it there, Humble. Up against an Anthony Pettis pick as well, which you equally love to see. These two are some entertaining fighters, to say the least, bring a very, very different type of striking style. A lot of kicks, a lot of hands. And as I said, maybe a bit of a mix-up from Valentine, very, very late, as is customary, of course. Maybe he's been working on his grappling. I'm interested to see what he's able to do here.
Well, you've got to think, if you're picking Frankie Edgar, it's got to be for his grappling, because the reach is definitely not there against the Pettis pitch. Pettis is, I believe, one of the only fighters apart from Conor McGregor who's in 3 divisions, featherweight, lightweight, and welterweight as well. One of my favorite characters kind of pick on there. He doesn't have the best of chin, but if you know how to utilize, it takes a lot of practice. If you know how to utilize Pettis and you know how to manage his stamina when you're throwing a lot of those big techniques, then he is one of the most dangerous strikers on the game, because of the amount of strikes he's got on there. But again, off his back, he's not too bad as well. So it's an interesting strategy to go with somebody that is a grappler, Cyrus, just because off his back, Pettis is usually better than he's on top.
Yeah, he's got a fantastic rubber guard. I believe it's in the game as well. And obviously some sneaky submissions. One thing to factor in is that KM Valentine, being the smaller fighter, he may be able to implement some head movement and is potentially looking to duck under some of those kicks. He has fantastic timing. He's trains with some of the best in the business in terms of people like I'm Cold-Blooded and so on, somebody that I've trained very, very extensively with, and has incredible head movement. But TMF Noggin landing some combinations early, Humble, and got to be confidence building, making sure that he can connect almost at will at the moment, going into the opening 60 seconds or so of this bout.
Yeah, and it looks like Valentine's kind of relying on his movement at the moment, and that's something that Frankie Edgar is absolutely excellent at. It's crazy to think that Frankie Edgar was the champion of the lightweight division at one point. Same division Khabib was the champion of. So, you know, insane that you've got to really give it up to that guy. He literally is one of the best competitors in the world for what he's done, because he never cut weight for that. But this has been a great fight so far. It's an excellent little battle between the movement and space and those kicks and trying to stop those at the moment. And, you know, it's very difficult to see who's winning this fight at the moment.
It is. TMF Noggin seems to be landing some of the better shots, but as you see, Edgar is getting into his flow up until right there. That's the problem. I mean, when Noggin lands, it's in a flurry. Humble sits him down and is pouring on the pressure. Has KM Valentine in a very tough spot, but he seems to be holding his, at least thus far.
Beautiful left hook right there. Caught him on the chin, and then he came with a right, and that dropped him. Beautiful work from Noggin as he's trying to go 3-1 in the division, and Valentine still using the movement, sticking to the game plan. He's trying to get ahead and trying to use that stamina and kind of make him miss shots. But for me, he keeps getting drawn into a bit of a fist fight in the pocket, and Pettis has decided to release some violence right now, Cyrus.
Yes, sir. He is turning up and turning out some lovely, lovely striking. I mean, some questionable striking in between. He's thrown uppercuts from outside as well, but maybe just getting a little bit excited, trying to get those combinations to land on KM Valentine, who is trying to be elusive, but having a little bit of an issue with the reach. I think is maybe the biggest factor. I think that's probably what is causing him to get caught just out of range each time he throws his combinations, and allow somebody like Noggin to continue to find him at the end of his punches.
Yeah, he's just having a bit. He catches him with a head kick, and Frankie Edgar's chasing him around the octagon right now. He's trying to get the win, goes for the spinning back fist, and Frankie is now backpedaling because Noggin has decided to use some of his beautiful striking as well. But yeah, great comeback from behind so far for Valentine, and he's doing a great job as he gets caught right there. The commentator's curse comes into effect in the third fight already, Cyrus.
Yeah, non-stop, brother, non-stop. But no, TMF over here, he is just doing a much better job of landing combinations. He's planting his feet ripping with a straight into a lead hook, into a lead uppercut, just catching his opponent off guard continuously. KM Valentine, once again, I'll say it again, doesn't seem to be getting flustered so far, okay? And I feel like that is a big thing to keep track of, because as soon as we start to see him make major mistakes and overcommit in positions and so on, then that's when I'm going to get really worried for him. But so far, he seems to just be getting a little bit outstriked. He needs to make adjustments, but I feel like he's still in this bout, especially with that stamina lead going into the second round there, brother.
Definitely, and that's the key. As the fight goes on, that's where the it's going to be in the favor of Ken Valentine if he can keep hitting that body and keep making Noggin whiff. You know, he takes one or two to kind of completely change the stamina battle, or even he did rock him himself right there, so he made Noggin realize that I can hurt you as well, and that's really important going into the second round as both of them start trading right now in the center of the octagon. Cyrus.
Yeah, once again, the combinations are adding up. The block is getting absolutely obliterated. I feel like he's maybe taking pictures a little bit too much, but then once he gets into his movement, he's switching a lot of stances, and you know, once he gets into his movement, starts throwing his own combinations. Once he's going first, Humble, he's beating Noggin to the punch nearly every time, and he needs to do that. I mean, he can't allow Noggin to continue to go first and think that his chin is going to hold up, because, I mean, the stamina is still relatively there, and it's not going to take too many to sit him down.
Drops him right there, and as you were saying, he's going to drop him against the fence again. This is a chance to finish his opponent. He doesn't get the opportunity, but a really dangerous position at the moment for Valentine. He needs to be careful right here, and he does a good job of not avoiding any damage there. We're just having an issue with the guy's stream at the moment. Hopefully that comes back to us, but it has. We've got, as you were saying, that he was doing such a great job in that round, and then Noggin came back. This is such a back and forth fight right now between these two competitors. It could go either way, and Noggin's got to mind his shots right now because of the stamina battle that they're going through.
Yeah, no, definitely, brother, definitely. A bit of a shame with the host stream having some issues, but it comes back just in time to see the finish. TMF Noggin once again going to the well with those beautiful combinations. Humble able to catch a 3 or 4 punch right at the end with his opponent up against the cage. The lead upper able to close out the show in a pretty intense fight, start to finish.
Oh yeah, that was a fantastic fight. Both guys came out to win that one, and I liked the game plan from Valentine, but he just couldn't keep the boxing of Anthony Pettis off him, and that I got some vibes of Anthony Johnson, Rumble Johnson versus Nogueira right there, just knocking him out against the fence with the uppercut. Beautiful work from Noggin. He goes 3-1 now, and he's now telling everybody in that division I'm a serious threat as he tries to break into the top 15.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another fun fight, living up to the expectations. Appreciate that was actually another short notice replacement. So, all fairness, appreciations to KM Valentine for stepping in on a late replacement to give TMF Noggin a fight here this evening. Noggin obviously living up to the expectations. Used a lot of stamina there, Humble, but didn't really matter because he was able to get his opponent out of there before it really got too sticky for him. So, yeah, just a fantastic fight all around.
Yeah, 100%. Great fight. As we move on to the next one, we're going to have Random the One versus one of my teammates, Filthy Uncle Ben. Both of these guys coming off losing streaks, but Filthy Uncle Ben's losing streak is actually to me. So far, we spar a lot, and it goes backwards and forwards. And I do believe he's actually winning that fight against me, so it's a credit to himself. And it's going to be in women's bantamweight, Cyrus. A very interesting weight category right there.
It is. You don't see it too often. It's actually nice to see it, you know, mixed into the card as a whole. I think that if I'm not mistaken, I'd be pretty surprised if they actually changed up on these fights. But I think we're going to see an Amanda Nunes up against Valentina Shevchenko fight. Obviously, power v speed, a lot of size advantage on the side of Filthy Uncle Ben with Amanda Nunes. I'm expecting a lot of, you know, a lot of explosive striking in this match here, Humble. You know, and maybe. I don't know who's going to lead it, though, and that's what I'm kind of caught on. Amanda Nunes hits so hard she can often, you know, take the center and pressure her opponent, but I've also seen them use it in kind of reverse up against Valentina Shevchenko because she's so fast that sometimes people like to plant and try to look for those counters. So there's a lot of ways this fight can drop up.
Yeah, 100%. And the ping was a problem there for me, but it should be a great fight. Random the One said he's actually going to try and take his opponent down in Filthy Uncle Ben and try and submit him in the second round. So it'll be interesting the strategy he comes at this one. But Filthy Uncle's got a lot of slick stripe, and like a lot of the KIA guys, we train the striking side so much because part of the fun, you know. We've got a lot of great grapplers in that camp, but we try and mess about with different techniques. And Filthy Uncle's not he's one of them people that does exactly the same thing. From Ireland as well. You know, the Rat Pack from Ireland, the amount of people from Ireland. You've got the likes of Suave Jamie, you've got the likes of JC21. You've got so many different people from Northern Ireland as well. They all love to fight and compete. And that Conor McGregor urge that came through made all these guys fans at a young age. And they've really put their time and effort into this game. And that is no different from Filthy Uncle Ben as he tries to get his first win in the primetime octagon today.
Yeah, like I said, I did not know he was KIA, so that is an interesting note. I expect some big things out of him, some nicely timed uppercut. We're seeing Shevchenko try to take to the body and attack that leg early. A lot of props on the side of the Random the One as well. We've seen him compete a number of times. He is a well-rounded opponent as we see him go for a ankle pick early in the first round. I think that the attacks to the legs, the bodywork, it could play a bit of a factor if he mixes in some of those takedowns. Obviously trying to take some of that power away out of Amanda Nunes early there, Humble.
Yeah, there's a lot of mixing up going right now, and it's a really interesting fight because these two aren't just trying to block break or try to do. There's a lot of interesting movements and strategies with mixing up the rhythms and shots, and that's what I like to see, especially from Filthy Uncle Ben as being one of his teammates. Something we practice a lot of is not just going after the same combinations and the same stuff, but beautiful flying knee right there from Random the One as he gets with an uppercut and a body shot, and this is what Filthy Uncle Ben said he was going to do, finish the fight before he even hit the ground, Cyrus.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything less, brother. These KIA boys, much like yourself, come out the gates hot, but oh my god, he's letting it rip, and somehow Shevchenko Random survived and taunts him.
God damn, he landed that beautiful little feint sidestep elbow, and it was excellent work from Filthy Uncle Ben. Always one of his beautiful signature moves right there, dealing with the jumping, spinning back kicks and the body work from Random the One at the moment. Great work as he's trying to showcase his striking.
Yes, sir. An ankle pick this time is successful for Shevchenko, though Random the One, once again, as I said, is a very, very well-rounded opponent. We'll have to see if he's able to get some of his, top game implemented in this one. Not for long, my man. That reversal on point, Humble. Got to be proud of your boy in that one.
We train with the likes of Judo Demon, who's just an absolute animal on the ground. People forget, like, we came from this camp with Spooky G, who's in the chat right now. I know everyone knows, and there's so many grapplers that we all train with. We have to. Even Gabe and Echo always coming by and just training all these guys. It's consistently getting taken down, consistently going through the transitions and consistently going through it. But Random the One's done a fantastic job of taking the back right there. And interesting work right now, though. He didn't stop the reversal. I'm surprised Ben actually went for that, but a bit of disrespect on his opponent's behalf right there as he tries to stand up. He's going to try and grapple him, Cyrus. Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if he's able to implement, some ground and pound in this round, he has a stamina advantage. I actually don't think it's a bad choice, especially with only 35 seconds left on the clock. He'll have a lot of opportunity to get some beautiful ground and pound in and cause some real damage. These denials are on point as well. I mean, this is a bad position for Random the One. 10 seconds can be, a very quick time or an eternity with somebody like Amanda Nunes raining down some elbows square onto that dome piece.
And that's kind of like the KIA way. Like, I'm the only person in our team that kind of doesn't do this, and every other guy that gets taken down. If someone's game time is to take you down, it's almost really important to kind of make that an area of dominance and to take that away from them as an option. If you're a great striker and you already win the striking battle, and then you show them that I'm also a great grappler, you've completely sucked the wind out of them, and that's how you kind of win the fight as a whole mentally before you actually win the fight. And that's something everybody in our team kind of does really well. I know in a lot of other teams like EK and a lot of the teams in the Xbox side as well that I see, it's just really important not to shy away from the grappling sometimes. I'm the only person that does.
Honestly, I feel your pain, brother, because I know that you can grapple, I know I can grapple, but I do the same thing. Sometimes it's frustration, just that your opponent is taking you to a part of the fight that you did not want to be in, and that's the beauty of mixed martial arts. What an uppercut from Amanda Nunes. Filthy Uncle Ben getting a bit filthy out here, Humble, landing some brutal uppercuts, checking everything, and really seems to be getting into the flow state out here.
Yeah, definitely beautiful shots right there. He's starting to set up his shots really well. You're going to start to see that jab getting utilised a lot more, mixed with that head movement. He's looking for the timing for something, but can the Random the One land a big shot to kind of change the fight at the moment? A beautiful uppercut. He's going to the body. Filthy Uncle Ben trying to get the finish, and the Random the One still surviving, Cyrus.
Yeah, he's a veteran, bro. He's a veteran. He's having a tough fight here. Amanda Nunes with Filthy Uncle Ben behind the sticks is quite clearly a trouble for nearly anybody in the cage. I would imagine he's doing really, really well this evening, managing his stamina excellently, landing combinations at will, and it just feels like it's a real uphill battle for Random the One, but it's refreshing once again, Humble, to see this man not giving up, sticking. But it's so brutal, bro. It's so brutal.
It's horrible. This is hard to take. Oh, he catches him. He's going to try and finish him. He hits him at the body. Goes for the flying knee again, and now he's going to get hurt as he's walking backwards. Filthy Uncle Ben mixing it up. Still needs to be patient, though. He's just had a little reminder there that his opponent can hurt him. Then flying knees can come out at any time. He's fighting a world-class character in Shevchenko, who's got a lot of dexterity in his shots and can still do the damage if needed. Them one-shot knockouts, Cyrus. We've all felt the pain before. Yes, he needs to use that veteran savvy at the moment, Filthy Uncle, and not get carried away.
Yeah, just keeping it simple. Continue those combinations. That's going to be it. Filthy Uncle Ben picking up a W for the KIA boys. He's going to be very, very proud of that performance. He executed his game plan perfectly, landing those combinations at will, able to take Random the One out of his game plan relatively early with the power of Amanda Nunes, Humble. Just a clean performance all round, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. And both of them have said no respect right now. The Arsenal respect. Okay, good stuff. But yeah, I'm proud of Ben. Like, I know what he's capable of. Like I said, he was winning that fight against me in the first one. I know his striking's really good. He likes to watch a lot of those guys, including the Suave Jamie. A lot of the Irish like to support the Irish. We all know this already. So you can see a lot of the techniques in the pullbacks and the uppercuts to the body and those sort of strategies and techniques that he was using coming from that band of people that he likes to watch. And he's going to be a force going forward in this one. It's going to be interesting to see Filthy Uncle Ben back onto the win column and moving forward into the primetime division, because I know he's taking this league seriously.
Yeah, well, that was a great performance from him, so I am definitely going to be keeping my eye out for this man right here. Just a great performance all round. Once again, know that Random the One will be back better than ever. He's not a man to rest on his laurels. If he loses a fight, he'll go back to the drawing board, work on some of those skills in the lab, and then come back better than ever. But for this evening there, my man, we move on to Luciano_Mob up against Slick SOG. These guys, I believe, on the PlayStation side of things. Are you familiar with them yourself by any chance, Humble?
Yeah, I've not got, because these going to be making the debuts today, so it's always nice. But obviously the team, I am familiar with Mob. Mob is a high-level team. They've had a lot of different people in going in and out of that team, so it'll be interesting to see how Luciano does. I'm not sure if it's Luciano the Twitch streamer. If it is Luciano the Twitch streamer, he's a fantastic striker. He's going to be difficult to deal with. But Slick SOG believes he's at his best at the moment. He said that he's ready to rumble in this one, and he thinks he's going to get the job done in the second round, no matter how it goes. But first time we're going to see Luciano today, so it's going to be able to see his strut out stuff, and we're going to get the first impressions.
Yeah, cannot wait to see them, my man. Featherweight is the weight class, I believe. And they change it up every time on me, right? So I don't know why I say this, but I believe that we're going to see Conor McGregor up against Volkanovski. He is actually now switching over to the other Conor McGregor, so we're going to see a Conor McGregor be the younger Conor McGregor, I suppose. Without further ado, though, let's get straight into it, my man. These guys appear to be putting on a striking display here this evening. Want to land some beautiful hands and get that hand raised, as they say, with the W. Don't often see this Conor McGregor matchup. I mean, what are the differences between them? I don't really play with this with these models.
So one of them has a bit more power and the other one's got a bit better movement, so it's just a case of not much though. It's kind of like 1 and 2 stats between each one. There's not much difference between them, because I did do a little bit of research when they first came out and came on, but I can't remember which one of them's got the more power. I do believe it's the one in the green shorts, if I'm correct. But the one in the white shorts is one of my favourites to use. I don't know why, but I feel like he flows a bit better. I feel like his movements are better, and I think he's got better kicks as well.
I was going to say, one of them has better kicks. I know that was a thing in the past. I just haven't been playing personally enough to know those statistics offhand, but I imagine we're actually going to see that maybe come to fruition in this fight anyway, so we'll decipher it as we go through, Humble, as these guys are ready to go into round one. We'll see if they touch gloves or get straight to business. Either way, I expect fireworks early between these two debuters, I believe, right? Both debuters.
So Sodge is actually 0-2, and Luciano is currently making his debut. But yeah, so he needs a win basically, Slick, at the moment. He's going to try and get that at the moment. But guys, when these fights start as well, make sure that you get your predictions in beforehand, because we do that if you want to get involved. Bet some channel points and you can potentially double them. But this has been an absolute show in the centre of the octagon. Both guys, Conor McGregor style, blasting each other in the face at the moment, Cyrus.
Yeah, Slick OG coming like he's a man with a point to prove, quite clearly trying to get into the win column, pressuring pretty heavily early, man, and looking for some big head movements and combinations. Stuff like that right there, we're catching Luciano on the inside when he's throwing kicks. That's going to be great for him, but I feel like he has to be a little bit careful with getting a bit overzealous. He's throwing pretty wild in this first round.
He is, but he's got so much power behind it. He's actually hitting his opponent a few times. He's just got to be careful of his stamina. And I've seen Luciano there do a great dodge of the front kick, but didn't capitalize on some sort of counter, and it made me feel like he might have accidentally done that instead of being ready at time. But good head movement so far from Luciano. He's got to be careful though, because if Slick gets him down or does some damage to that head health, it's going to be a different fight. He's not going to be able to take too much to that block.
Yeah, completely agree with you. What I'm actually seeing in this fight so far, I feel like Luciano's actually taking a more measured approach. He's actually looking for his strikes and trying to, put out feelers, so to speak, to set up some things. But on the reverse, these combinations, Humble, I'm actually pretty impressed with SOG in the way that he is digging into certain combinations. He seems to have an infinite combination of them, but it's just his defense that is letting him down.
Yeah, definitely a nice strategy to start leading with that left hook. Leading with the lead hook, rather than just constantly going with a jab, because your opponent likes to move the head so much. You're making them essentially walk into that shot, but he's going to get a reversal right now, and that's really important as he drains some of his stamina to do that, which kind of sucks, but beautiful work from Slick SOG so far. But I've noticed the stamina is starting to change in Luciano's favour going forward, Cyrus.
Yeah, we say that. However, some of the misses are starting to add up with him as well. These double elbows, they had a bit of an effect earlier, but I feel like his opponent's now ready for them. These guys are making adjustments to each other pretty nicely, but they are still fighting at a pretty wild way, I feel, especially from the side of SOG. He's really planting on those combinations and seems to be content to, let his hands do the rest, just really letting them flow. But sometimes they work, Humble, and they get your opponents very, very injured up against that cage line.
He hits him with a three-piece elbows, and he's going after his opponent right now. Hits him with, the uppercut, and he's on wobbly legs. He's going to try and land again. He's constantly going after the block. Luciano nearly had him out of there right there, and that's what he's got to be careful of, as he wishes a massive scissor kick right there. Iris.
Yeah, he's trying to get a little bit wild at the end of the round, getting a bit flashy, just letting his opponent know he's got many, many tools in his arsenal. But like I said, brother, an action-packed first round. These guys really came out the gates hot, and didn't leave too much of a feeling process or time for that process to happen. Just really got going with their combinations, especially on the side of Slick OG. It's going to be interesting to see how he approaches the rest of this bout, if he wants to continue to commit to that, which is kind of what I expect. Although that's going to leave the third round almost out of the question, you would imagine, with the pace that they're putting out.
Yeah, it looks like at the moment Luciano's actually come out with the worst stamina, which was surprising for me, as I was thinking that Slick had done a bit more in there. Nice counter punches from Slick so far. Not many people happy with Luciano in the chat with the elbows, but it is what it is. You do what you do to win these fights. These fights are important to a lot of people going forward in the Primetime division. Everyone wants to be up there and try and win that belt, and he's also representing his team, so do not forget that. There's a lot of boys there that he's got to please. So good performance so far from both guys, but this is up in the air at the moment, Cyrus.
Yeah, like you say, he's just trying to get that W by any means necessary at the moment. He feels like his opponent is sitting in his face, throwing combination after combination, so he's just throwing out a quick double elbow to make sure he maximizes some damage. And stuff like that, though, is a little bit suspect out here, Humble, missing some big kicks, wasting his stamina, and probably the reason with things like that why he's so gassed and now dead. Y'all want to see a dead body? Conor McGregor, younger version, is face down on the canvas. Lovely work from Slick OG. He may not have came with a defensive mindset here this evening, Humble, but the offense was enough to get the job done. Beautiful work, nice knockout. Good W.
Yeah, definitely, especially when you got his opponent hurt and you got him against that fence. We always talk about the fence. His opponent couldn't block anymore. He couldn't move anymore. He had the option to go left or right, and he was already getting hit with hooks. So he decided to stand his ground, and he just took one down the middle to the chin, crumbling him to the floor, and older McGregor gets the win over younger McGregor. A very controversial topic right there.
Lovely work, brother. That will take us right into the next one. Bear with me 1 second. Sorry, I had an update from the back.
It's okay.
There you go. No, that's fine. So, yeah, no, we are actually continuing on with the card schedule. So, PL1 Hayes up against Evo. PL1 Hayes is a guy that has talked a lot in the past, brother. He's beaten some big names in the past. He's a bit of a controversial character. Some people love him, some people hate him. He's always game to fight. He really relies on his striking particularly, and likes to put on a display of some beautiful hands, and mainly his boxing, to be honest with you. He's a really good boxer. Up against somebody like Evo X Panda that's been doing pretty well on the circuit, and is obviously looking to pick up a nice little feather in his cap here this evening with a man that's trying to get himself into the win column. He's had a tough type. We've seen him up against the likes of Keza and so on, and that's a tough road for any fighter, Humble.
Yeah, definitely. You know, like these top, that's the problem, isn't it? So you've got these guys at the top that they need to find somebody to kind of to build their way up to the top, and if unfortunately you're one of them people, which Hayes and Evo have been on the back end of early in their primetime fights, then you're going to struggle against them fights. They're going to be learning curves, they're going to be losses, and unfortunately both of these guys have picked up a few of those, but now they've got the opportunity to fight each other and fight somebody who's on a similar path to you, and you have to be that person to say, though, I'm breaking that streak. I need to get back on the win column and push up the rankings to show the curvature, show the learning curve that you've had as a player and as somebody who's competing in these leagues.
Yeah, definitely, my man, definitely. And, you know, the simple fact is that these guys, they both need this W, as you said. It puts a lot of pressure on them, but pressure makes diamonds, as we've said millions of times in the past, right? Not everybody can win, and sometimes it's about who can dig deep and rise to the top in those situations. Without further ado, though, we're going to switch across. It looks like we're having Rob Font up against Peter Yan. These aren't the types of guys who switch up at the last minute. I would expect them to continue with these picks. It's a popular pick in the weight class of bantamweight there, Humble. You know, a lot of striking, a lot of options with these two guys, and it often makes for an entertaining bout of, you know, some pretty slick striking.
Yeah, definitely. After the first update for Rob Font, after he fought the fight with Cody Garbrandt, I believe, he had a pretty significant buff, and Peter Yan, obviously, we know, is classed as the champion of the division, or interim champion of the division, but he's definitely one of the best strikers in the game, and he gets better as the fight goes on as well. He does have a lot of perks that just help that. I think it's the Bulldog perk that helps you get in your face and kind of do that. But Rob Font is a great character to kind of pick to counter and neutralize that, especially with the boxing.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll have to see how he really goes about it. For PL1 Hayes, what I'm looking for, in all honesty, Humble, is I'm looking for his jab. If he's able to implement his jab early with somebody like Rob Font, he has a slight reach advantage, or at least I believe he does, and he'll really be able to dictate the fight as a result. A couple of kicks mixed into it as well will really go a long way. But somebody like Evo Panda, he digs to the body a lot, but the uppercut is there as a result, my man, and now the flurry is on. He's trying to finish it right here. Woo!
I am not fucking about, he said right there, and he literally knocked his opponent down, tried to get it on, and we've all been in that painful position where you take a few, you zig when you're supposed to zag on the ground and your head gets hurt, but he's decided to pick violence this afternoon as he starts to smash Evo Panda's head, and Evo's got to be thinking to himself, what have I got to do here to get myself out of this tough spot? Blocking some of these shots would be nice at the moment though, Cyrus, as he stands back to the feet and he's going to try and pour it on again.
Yeah, he feels that maybe he's wasting a little bit too much stamina with some of these shots being blocked, but it did some nice damage early. It's a big start to this fight for PL1 Hayes, but he has to be careful now not to get away from what got him to the dance. Another uppercut sits him down. Lovely work. Apologies on my camera doing this little blink at you for a second. Hopefully that'll come back. If not, I will turn it off.
Right, big shots right there from Font as he tries to take out Yan. He's going for the trip right now, and this has been a crazy fight so far. He's really trying to put the pressure onto him. He's landed some beautiful uppercuts. I believe Panda needs to stop being so reactionary. He's currently reacting to his opponent rather than just playing his own game plan and utilizing his jab, focusing on the movement. He's really just trying to get back in the fight as he gets dropped. And a bit of taunting right there from Hayes, but he's got to be careful. It's never good to play with your food when you're on a losing record, but he drops him. Flat first on his face. He's going to get a chance to finish with a hand behind his back.
I was going to say his arm was trapped. That's got to be it. Oh my god! Evo Panda surviving again with a slithering of health just by the skin of his teeth. Oh my god. PL1 Hayes has come out, and like you said, he chose violence here this evening, as he always does, wanting to put on a display, but now he's reversed, brother, and that's why you don't play with your food, giving Evo Panda another opportunity to get back into this bout.
And I believe he needed to kind of do some damage right there. He had a chance to posture up, and I would have tested my opponent's defense on the ground as well as... Because the striking at the moment, you're getting caught, you're being caught with some big shots, and that is it! Beautiful performance from Hayes, and Panda goes night-night. Unfortunately, the Pandas aren't mating, and they're going to go extinct in this one because Hayes has come out victorious, Cyrus.
Yeah, lovely work for PL1 Hayes. That was a W. That was a vintage Hayes performance. He has showed us time and time again that he is, a gnarly veteran. He always digs deep, always goes for the victories, with the hands, and looks for those sorts of big knockouts. It's a lot of the time it's what bites him in the butt, so to speak, but this evening, didn't even matter. He was able to throw those taunts out there, Humble. He was able to really kind of do what he wanted, and was able to pick up a victory and get himself back on that winning track.
Yeah, definitely. Great performance for Hayes. Tell he was confident in that one as well, and he didn't seem to get hurt either against the PEM, which is difficult sometimes because they always come back. I believe he landed the correct shots at the correct time, like you said, and just took away with the fight. He felt comfortable in every position, but it means that we're going to be moving on to the next fight over to the Xbox side, and we're going to have a bit of a mix-up as well with the weight classes because it's going to go back to light heavyweight, one of my favorite weight classes to kind of watch because it's such a difficult weight class to have such an advantage on your opponent unless you're picking that DC or John Jones pick. But it's going to be LFC Lepo versus a bit of Blue. Can you tell us a bit more about these guys, Cyrus?
Unfortunately, a bit of Blue Tack has not turned up this evening. I was looking forward to that. He's somebody that I actually found myself on OWC a little bit of a while back. Had some lovely striking, but we're going to be seeing Lepo here this evening, as stated, up against LW Ernesto. I'm expecting some big things out of Ernesto. I have not seen him fight before, I don't think, at least. But the LW boys as a whole, Humble, they've shown time and time again that they're really, really well-rounded. They have some fantastic grapplers, some fantastic strikers, and a lot of the time they're out here putting it all together, brother. Yeah,
definitely. Like we talked about earlier on as well, the idea of coming in with no pressure, just asking to fill in the last second against somebody, there's no pressure there to kind of do it. You don't really care if you're going to win or lose. You're just going to come in and have a good time, put a show on for the audience. And so far we've had 6 fights, and all of them have been finishes. All of them have been fantastic fights, and I don't see anything going different here. Lepo for me needs a win. He needs to get a win in this one. He is the veteran coming into this one in this league. And if you're a veteran in a league and you've been fighting there for a long time, you don't want somebody to come in and kind of take you out in your spot, because it really puts a statement out there that they're ready for it and you're still not quite at where you need to be. So for Lepo, in my opinion, he needs to be dominant in this fight.
I agree with you entirely. He needs to get himself a big W here, get himself back on that winning track. He's a man that, has in the past been an all-action striker. He really comes forward, puts on the pressure. He used to be formerly a member of, I think it was TP, which was technical pressure, and it really, really accentuated the style that he brought to the table. But recently, since he joined LFC, his ground game has hit another level, Humble. He came out and got some really, really slick submissions in some dire positions and showed that now he's a complete package, and that's what he needs to bring to the table up against Ernesto. He needs to really, really kind of out-veteran him in order to pick up this W, I believe.
Yeah, 100%, and that's kind of what you want to see. But Lepo, he's probably had the most fights out of anybody in the league at the moment, because he's 5-7 in the league, which I didn't even realize there was that many events so far this season. But he is 5-7, and it looks like he's going to go with Gokhan Saki, which is a very interesting pick. A lot of health attributes don't go in your favor in this one, especially the stamina. He's fighting Adesanya, another veteran kickboxer, both coming from the K1 world. It'll be interesting to see who can utilize their kickboxing better in this one.
Yes, sir. I mean, obviously, there's going to be a reach advantage, kicking advantage on the side of Izzy, but the double uppercut, or I think maybe even a triple uppercut, it might be from somebody like Saki. Yeah, it's ridiculous, right, bro? It's ridiculous. I mean, it's just like unleashing hell, duking somebody out of the cage. So, I mean, don't blink is basically what we're saying going into this bout, especially with somebody like LFC Lepo. Like I said, I expect him to turn up the pace as soon as he catches a rhythm. That's what he's looking for. He really, really really, really survives on his pressure when he gets into that momentum, I say.
Beautiful body kick right there. You've got to be careful because you would just expect Ernesto not to be there for those triple uppercuts, especially with the movement of Izzy. It looks like he's counter-striking at the moment, and you've got Lepo kind of pushing the action, deciding where his opponent wants to go, and he's got to be careful of not getting caught with him, because that's where Izzy's incredibly dangerous, especially with his body work, with his knees and his clinch. But we've got a takedown early from Lepo with Gokhan Saki. This is very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, looking to implement some of that advanced grappling he has been working on, but I was just thinking to myself before he caught that kick and took him down, the blocking that was on display, the defensive, kind of stances that they were able to take and the blocks that they were able to get off were absolutely phenomenal. These guys were really, really making some excellent reads. I'd love to see them get back to the feet, but LFC Lepo is content to land some ground and pound, and more power to him, brother, as he, he's just taking an intelligent workman-like approach to a dangerous opponent.
Goes for the nice work right there, and as you were saying, like, very intelligent defensive game from both of these guys. But if you look at the right leg health of Ernesto at the moment, it's not very good on the defensive side, because he must have got checked or caught. But beautiful work right now from Lepo as he gets an advantage in the grappling. He's got to see something in his opponent right now that seen kind of a weakness where he can kind of utilize it. Back to the feet though, and this is kind of where we want to see the fight, let's be honest, with two kickboxers. Yeah, it is nice. It is nice to see some of the grappling, but I want to see them triple uppercuts. I want to see the Izzy footwork going forward, and looks like we're going to get that right now, Cyrus.
Yes, sir. Combinations are starting to fly. 2 minutes left on the clock in the very first round. Obviously, we're seeing Izzy play the outside game, potentially a little bit concerned of another takedown out of Lepo, which is, maybe one of the big reasons he went for it. It's going to set up some striking opportunities for him, Humble. I like what I'm seeing from Ernesto so far. He seems to be very composed, but Lepo is almost starting to run away a little bit with it in terms of the overall output that he is landing.
He is, but he's got to watch them legs, because them legs are getting caught at the moment, and being on the outside, when you're walking into those leg shots, it sets up the head kick, as I was about to say it right there, and that's exactly what he's going for. He goes for the fake head kick to the spinning back kick to the head and absolutely lands it, and that could have given him the round, and that might make Lepo come forward into the leg kicks as it gets dropped again. Beautiful little sequence from Ernesto right there, Cyrus.
Wrong way around, sorry, brother. Wrong way around. That is Lepo unleashing unholy hell upon Ernesto's leg and face. He is turning up here this evening, and I am very, very impressed with what he's doing. You've got to respect the Gokhan Saki pick, especially when you're getting the W. I mean, egg on your face if you lose, but ultimately when you get the W, it just adds some extra style points to a nice feather in your cap.
Blue corner, red corner, Humble. Blue corner, red corner. Yeah, I apologize to Lepo, but great performance from him right there. As he does a great job of just picking his opponent off as they were trying to circle, and that's what you've got to do when your opponent's circling. You've got to time those leg kicks perfectly, because if you don't, you'll get checked as well. And checks, you only need 2 or 3 checks to kind of total the leg. So it is really dangerous, high risk, high reward, but that will stop some of the power as well. If people watching didn't know this, that actually affects your power, affects some of your striking and your ability to throw certain techniques at a certain speed. So you've got to be careful with the leg damage going forward with Izzy.
Yeah, I only found that out recently myself. It's oh my god! Never mind, leg kicks. A spinning head kick from Gokhan Saki. Lepo is unleashing some beautiful combinations and very, very stylish striking all round. Seems to be feeling the rhythm here this evening. Oh my god, Ernesto's overall body is failing him. His will is there, but not the body, leg, or head health, Humble. This is dire situations for Adesanya.
He's on wobbly legs right now, and I'd like to say that as ironic, but it is exactly that case. He's still got a bit of a right leg, but he's got to really sit down in his boxer right now. He's got to really try and catch some sort of offense, because he's kind of give Saki some shots, but he hasn't really landed anything of significance that can say, stop hitting my leg, stop doing this, you've got to worry about something else. But beautiful check right there. Maybe that's going to change, and Ernesto's going to make some adjustments, but I believe he's got to get them knees and elbows back into the mix. No clinch used as well, and for me, the mix up in the grappling is great, but you've got to use the clinch work as well. It is in there. That is part of the Muay Thai and the kickboxing aspect of the game, so love to see that from Ernesto.
Yeah, I think that would be an intelligent move for him here, especially with the legs being so battered. It just allows him to take a couple of moments where those legs are not really at massive risk, Humble, and obviously get off some damage on the inside. But a big head kick for Lepo, the taunt to boot. He is feeling himself here this evening. A man with a point to prove, and he is proving it with some very, very Oh, how am I talking about? Just a lot of style points, bro. He's doing all sorts of shit out here.
Yeah, and Esto as well. It's all about them leg kicks. Them leg kicks have set up everything going forward, and he fakes the leg kick, goes to the head, catches him big time. But I like the range that he got there as well. He kind of went outside of kicking range just on purpose, just to feint into it. But beautiful work, and I am liking what I'm seeing from Esto right now. I'm not sure about the helicopter that we just seen right there, but this game sometimes is weird, Cyrus.
It is, brother. It is. He's getting a little wild out there, a little bit of frustration, maybe settling in with some of the bigger shots coming his way. But a beautiful check. When he's keeping it, when he's composed, when he centers himself, he does very, very well defensively. Feints excellently, although obviously the damage is just mounting up massively for Saki. He's landed some perfectly timed shots.
Oh!
Some good moments here from Ernesto, though.
Yeah, he's picking away. He's been chipping, but it's a cumulative over everything, over the head, the body, and the legs. And you've kind of seen some beautiful work from Saki to the head and the legs so far. And he's done it again. He's rocked his opponent. I thought he was going to go for the head kick right there, but he doesn't. He's got to watch his stamina, and that's the key, because Ernesto is doing a great job, and he's stuck to the game plan of staying on the outside. Going into this third round, I would be worried if I was Saki, because the tides can turn very quickly, and it looks like the tides are turning right now.
Oh, the double uppercut, the combination. He goes to it again, trying to get him out of there. This is going to be it with some ground and pound shots. There's no way he doesn't follow up. But the defense holds, Humble. Oh, my God.
You love to see exactly that, and Ernesto's hanging on for dear life. If he can keep working the body and keep making Lepo miss, he might have a late surge going on in the third round, but that's got to be a chance from him. He's got to really get some offense right now, because you've got to think you're down. You're definitely down 2 rounds.
Oh, there is no way that he is not. I mean, I don't care who the judge is. I mean, Adelaide Bird could be out there, but she can definitely see Gokhan Saki is winning this bout. And once again, he starts out the third round in a big way, misses a leg kick into an overhand from holy hell. Looks like Ernesto is trying to dig deep and find his rhythm, but the damage, my man, from round 1 has just been too much, Humble.
And he's playing with his food right now. I've got to say, you've got to be careful if you are Lepo, because your body and to be fair, the recovery for the stamina was not too bad. It's just the combinations that he's throwing, 4 pieces, 5 pieces sometimes. If your opponent actually just decides, I'm not going to engage in that one, you're going to waste so much stamina and leave yourself so open after that 3rd or 4th or even 5th shot that you miss right there. And that'd kind of be my strategy if I was Ernesto. I'd kind of let my opponent go on, then you throw what you want to be, and you want to throw what you want to do and show off, and I'm just going to catch you at the end of one of them and really hurt you and pull the fight back in my favor. As I say, that's exactly what he does. He goes to the body right there, Cyrus.
Yeah, if he had maybe gone to the head or thrown a knee up the center line, he could have even closed out the show. But once again, I mean, Lepo's just absolutely relentless. The overall damage that he's able to continue to put out there, absolutely sustained over the course of every second of this round. Unless he walks onto something big, my man, he is running away with this bout. Just like I said, the damage is too much, bro. It's just too much.
Not finishing him. Will not finish his opponent by that. He wants a spectacular kill, but he's got to be careful, because he's getting caught in the body quite a lot. And if he gets caught to that body, it might be all over as he catches his opponent again. But his opponent is on thin ice at the moment, treading carefully as he gets caught with a left hook, and his opponent, he's got stuck. Wow.
I do not know if there was bad blood going into this one, but Lepo is definitely trying to prove a point. But as you said, the fact that he's playing with his food so much in this bout, and he knows he can end it at any moment, is allowing Ernesto an opportunity to find a big flash KO, a big strike, an explosive shot that really, really connects with Lepo. But
oh, wow.
Lepo just continues to pound away, brother.
He catches him with a knee, and now he's going to chase his opponent back. He's going to have an opportunity now to take him down onto the ground. Very smart from Saki right there, just neutralizing the amount of drama that we just exposed, sucking the life out of it. But yeah, great job from Ernesto to try and stay in the fight, Cyrus. He's stayed in the fight so far, and Saki's going to try and do some ground and pound right now and finish his opponent. No, he's not.
He can finish this at any point. I think he knew his stamina was low, did not want to get reversed. Decides to stand back up. There's 40 seconds. If he really just decides to put it on him, he will put him out. That's exactly what Gokhan Saki did right there. LFC Lepo stringing that fight out, making sure that he had as many seconds in that octagon here this evening that he could. maybe just trying to shake off some of the past performances. Humble, maybe he felt like some of his past performances as of recent, he needed to show up and show that, or just be mean about it, I suppose. He just really wanted to get into that win column. That's pretty mad.
We said it ourselves, like, if you're the veteran in this league who's had the amount of fights that you've had, if you're let, but when somebody's coming in short of notice, it happens all the time, and you've got to put a performance out there. You want to be a dominant performance to say, I'm used to fighting in this league, you're not, and I'm one of the veterans in this league. Like, most times you play someone on ranked and they can get a win over you here and there, or you might spar each other. But when it comes to the leagues and actually competing in the leagues, it's completely different. People don't realise that.
Yeah, no, completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. It has been a fun night of fight so far, Humble. These guys always living up to the action. Up next, though, we are going to be moving on to the featured fight of the prelims. It is going to be the one and only Skitch up against Mix-Ups. The weight class is featherweight, I do believe, unless my eyes deceive me. And I'm expecting a nice, fun match out to really, really close out these featured prelims.
Yeah, definitely, and you've got two really unique strikers in the run, where Skitch coming over from the PlayStation side with a 3-1 record, moving to the Xbox side. This is his kind of debut in the Xbox division, so he is not, and then you got Mix-Ups, who's a fantastic striker himself, very good counter striker, fighting one of the best French players in the world and one of the ESFL competitors as well in Skitch. He's got a bit of support in the chat, likes to copy the style of the likes of Easy Ease, Young Po, Ed Parker, a lot of those boys. Beautiful combinations, likes to touch his opponent and get some excellent counters once he starts to read those patterns. And with Mix-Ups, he's going to try and not let Skitch do that and keep him on the end of his punches. Great matchup, and I love the fact that we booked this one for the featured prelim, because this is going to be extraordinary.
Yes, sir. Well, they are ready to go there, Humble. It looks like we're seeing Zabit versus Yair, the fight that we didn't get to see in real life. It's an entertaining bout between these two. Obviously, Zabit's got a bit of an advantage in terms of the takedown. That Zabit trip can be a bit of a problem, but they're very, very similar in terms of the striking side of things. A lot of kicks to be mixed into it. They're very, very flashy with it, and obviously have the ability to be explosive in virtually every way possible.
Oh, definitely. And I'm a bit of a shit stirrer. When I go into these chats, I ask these people about I try and cause a bit of drama sometimes by asking them questions, and I know they're responding. And when you've seen Mix-Ups talk about Skitch was kind of like, oh, so you're confident? Let's pick 4 stars only then. And that's the reason we have this kind of matchup going forward. And that's why I love kind of asking these guys the questions in front of each other, because you kind of get to see the responses. And we're in a competitive fighting league. If we can keep it respectful, we can do. But it's nice to have a bit of drama here and there. And Mix-Ups thinks he's going to beat Skitch. Skitch thinks he's going to beat Mix-Ups. There's only one way to fight out, Cyrus, and I'm about to do it right now with a matchup that I love to see.
Yes, sir. Gonna be a fun one, my man. I don't know what to expect from it. Sometimes, like I said, it can be grappling. Sometimes it can be striking. I expect a lot of flashiness, no matter which way this goes. Submission attempts, head kicks, body kicks, all of that mixed in together. Like you said, the BSD boys especially, I'm very familiar with the camp. I'm familiar with Mix-Up being on the Xbox side of things. They are really, really good at attacking that body, and no, I haven't come across one of them that is not extremely well versed. They can fight no matter where the fight goes. So Skitch coming across to Xbox, being a high level competitor, has a point to prove, but has a tough test against him.
I believe he's joined KM as well, if I'm correct. He's joined Kingsman, so that's just something his opponent said. I'm not 100% fact on that, but if he has, what a great addition for them to have as he starts to press with Yaya right now. I'll give you a little secret as well. Me and Skitch actually play a lot, and I wanted to bring him into our team, KIA, a few different times, but he likes to be his own little soldier. So, he's definitely a great striker. He's shown me some of the best combinations I've ever seen in my life, and I've actually put on my YouTube channel before. So Skitch for me is a great competitor, but Mix-Ups is very similar because he does a lot of the different striking and different stuff, and that's what he's going to try and do with Yaya. But with Zabit. But it's all about the stamina battle for me here, Cyrus.
It is. It can play a big factor. It often comes down to the stamina battle. Especially if it starts to hit that second or midpoint of that second round. Obviously, we cannot see Zabit's stamina, but we can see that the combinations are really starting to let fly, and I think that they're probably going to be mirroring each other as they're just kind of, poking at each other right now. They're both landing about the same, missing about the same. It's pretty back and forth so far.
Yeah, they're just trying to see what works, what their opponent does. It's all about reading the patterns of your opponent and kind of make them dance to the rhythm that you want them to dance with. Beautiful work right there from Skitch. I've not seen that combination before, but I've seen it now. And I'm seeing Zabit and kind of Mix-ups use that lead head kick to the straight a lot, and we seen it earlier on with the lead body kick, and that's because it's a lot sooner. But he gets a block right there, a nice stun to the leg because of the check. We don't see that regularly, Cyrus, but great work from Skitch with his defense right there. Both of them on point at the moment.
Yeah, and he continues to chop at that wood, going outside, inside, landing some combinations in between. Now he gets the head movement on Skitch quite clearly, starting to feel like he's on fire. Really, really feeling himself as he goes for the Rolling Thunder, but gets taken down by BSD Mix-Ups. The clue was in the name. He's going to mix it all together here this evening, Humble, and gets a nice denial off already.
Yeah, and Skitch has already been a fantastic PlayStation player as well, and another little nugget for you guys is that he's moved over to the Xbox side. He messaged me and said, honestly, you need to come over. 60 FPS feels like a different game. It just doesn't feel the same. We've been stuck on the 30 FPS if you're not on PlayStation 5 for a long time, but at the moment he needs to get out of this dangerous position because Mix-Ups has mixed it up and he's took him to the ground. He's got him into Crucifix right there for a moment, but can win the fight on points if he keeps utilizing his grappling, and he's also found a weakness in Skitch's game, I believe he thinks at the moment, Cyrus.
Yeah, you could very well be right. He's clearly having some success on the ground. He's held it here for a number of seconds, goes for the back. Of course, the RNC is not available, but he's going to be able to maintain position for the rest of this round. And I mean, ultimately, in a very, very close round in terms of the striking side of things there, Humble, to get a minute 50 of ground control, is enough a lot of the time to sway the judges in your favor, especially when it's at the end of the round.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the rocks from Skitch, he had such a good control for the majority of that round with a lot of the shots, and that's not me being biased. It's just I felt like he did a lot, even with his defensive check and those kicks was great. But we might see a different game plan for Mix-Ups going forward in this one, especially when he had some success with the takedowns, but he goes back to the leg early, Cyrus.
We will see if those leg kicks continue to play a factor in this bout. Mix-Ups quite clearly now becoming aware of them. Striking from the outside, really, really trying to punch his way into range, and I feel like, yeah, I was going to say, and if he can't get the takedown, Skitch is now starting to look a lot more effective on the feet. But as I say that, he misses a big head kick and almost gets severely punished.
Yeah, and sometimes to his detriment, he's always trying to be a bit too flashy. Sometimes the basics might usually do him a bit better, as you can see him just mixing up a lot of shots. He plays this game for fun, like myself. We like to mix it up and throw beautiful combinations that just flow and look good and feel nice to throw. And that's exactly what the type of player Skitch is as he starts to pick and prod and move. But we've seen some good stuff from Mix-Ups as well in this round. And one big moment can kind of change this fight. But moments come and moments go. And that goes to Skitch at the moment with a beautiful leg kick. And then one back to Mix-Ups as he lands the knee, Cyrus. He's chasing him down right now.
Yeah, I mean, Skitch was absolutely phenomenal with those combinations. But a beautifully timed knee from Mix-Ups gets himself back into the fight and a bit of respect. But it didn't seem to last too long, Humble, as Rodriguez back to standing in front of his opponent, just going absolutely ham with combinations.
He tries to switch it up right now. It's some beautiful work right now. I'd like to see Mix-Ups utilize the double jab a bit more, kind of offset the rhythm of his opponent, because there's a lot of setups coming. As he lands a big uppercut and he's going to try and drop his opponent, he does, hits him with an uppercut, gets a chance and decides to throw him onto the back. This is a dangerous position for Skitch right now, Cyrus, as he's on the floor with a dangerous Magomedshedipov.
Yeah, almost half a round as well. There was like 2 minutes, 10 seconds when he got the takedown itself. And if he's able to maintain the position, get some ground and pound off once again, it's a really, really good kind of sway into his side, especially when his opponent is starting to turn it up on the feet. I mean, Skitch was looking phenomenal, so especially as it hits that midway point, it gives him a lot of time to really start to stack up some damage. And if he's able to get that mount, especially, rain down some brutal ground and pound to kind of change the trajectory of the rest of this fight.
Yeah, definitely. And Mix-Up showing that he's no slouch as well in this fight, and he's definitely not out of it. Great matchmaking so far from our Xbox matchmaking team, as Skitch now takes the back, and he's going to get a chance to grapple as well. And it'd be interesting to see if he chooses the option that we said earlier on about engaging the grappling and trying to deter your opponent, or to try and get back to the feet where he was winning the fighting and kind of show your opponent that I'm going to keep it there, and that's where I'm going to utilize my skills.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, Rodriguez, the one thing I will say is he's probably looking for a lot of top control at the end here, just because once again it sways it back to his favor, but decides for the last 15 seconds that he's going to try to get some more damage off, especially on that leg. This is not a great spot for Zabit, especially with a damaged leg already. Continually just jumping into that guard, Humble. You gotta love it, brother.
Brilliant work right there from Skitch. As we look at the chat right now, Big Nige has checked into the chat and said, who's ready for the main event? It's on the horizon. Definitely we are, Big Nige. But thank you to everybody. Hope you're enjoying the fight in the chat. Continue to talk, continue to support. We do love you as we move into the third round. What a fight we have so far from Skitch and Mix-Ups as our featured prelim.
Wouldn't expect anything less, brother. Like I said, they're here for a reason. Turning it up, turning it out here. Lovely work. I'm loving the combinations, but that stamina is going to become problematic, I would imagine, especially with the grappling mixed in. And another rock from BSD Mix-Ups. He is now going a little bit wild with his striking, but it's all working. Beautiful, beautiful work by BSD Mix-Ups.
Yeah, definitely. If I'm in Skitch's corner right now, I'm just saying, please stick to the fundamentals a bit nice, a bit smoother. Just, you know, you've done such a good job of kind of tagging and moving your opponent, but as you start to miss certain shots, he's catching you with massive spinning attacks and flying knees. You know, you've got to be careful of that because you don't want to be getting put out on your debut in the Xbox division against a guy that you feel like you might have been winning against, but Mix-Up's doing a great job staying in this fight and do some damage. Look at the head health of Skitch at the moment.
Yeah, it is problematic to say the least. I mean, Skitch continues to go to the leg, but that may be a little bit of a problem at this stage because the leg is probably not going to stop Zabit before the head health becomes too much. Obviously, all those leg kicks, they tear at your stamina, they make the takedowns easier, they make you more susceptible to damage and all of that sort of stuff, Humble. And that's maybe what Mix-Ups is going to be trying to maximize on in the last 2.5 minutes of this round.
Yeah, definitely. And you don't know who's won any of these rounds so far. You know, the first was very close, the second was very close, and the third now is kind of leaning in the favor of Mix-Ups as he does some damage to the body. That head health doesn't look good, the body doesn't look good, the legs don't look good. But Skitch gets the reversal right now. He's got 2 minutes and 10 seconds to work. It's going to be interesting to see if he stays on top or gets back to his feet. He did choose to engage in the grappling in that second round, Cyrus, and it looks like he's doing that again.
Yeah, I think it's an intelligent move for him, depending on the position. Once he starts to hit a little bit of tough water, like, well, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't, brother. He gets a full mount, not for too long. I imagine a separation is coming, though, at some point in the near future. Unless he's starting to feel his opponent's stamina is waning. Of course, we cannot see Mix-Up stamina at this stage, but it could be pretty dire. He is pretty beat up and starting to wear it. The blood is spraying all over the canvas.
Definitely big shots right there. That's going to edge his opponent closer. I believe the stand-up's going to come sooner or later from Skitch because he's done some damage on the ground. That's usually, I call it soften it up, and that's exactly what I'd have done right there and just, you know, try to land some of them block breaking combinations that go through at the end when he tries to do that with a head kick, and he's going to have to really pour in the pressure while not getting hurt right now because that third round is usually the most dangerous round and the most decisive round according to the judges' scorecard. Sometimes it doesn't matter if you've won the previous two, and it's going to go down to the last 15 seconds as Mix-Ups gets a massive rock on Skitch, Cyrus.
Yeah, he is pouring it on, brother. He's trying to take the judges out of it. Ducks the head kick out of range. That was an incredible fight between two very, very entertaining fighters. We're going to jump straight to the decision. BSD Mix-Ups gets his hand raised in that one. Big third round from him. Would be interesting to see the statistics. Don't think we're going to get to do so in this one, but nope. No. Fun bout, brother.
Not when you've lost the fight, but Skitch has got to keep his head up high. I do believe that it was very close in those first two, and I'd potentially give him those first two, but like I said, the judging on this game usually gives that third round two. If that third round's dominant and he got 2 rocks, it usually gives the person, especially if the rounds are close to the person that wins that third round. But Skitch did a fantastic job, and so did Mix-Ups. And Mix-Ups has got to be happy right now because he's come out of a losing streak. He's beat a top contender on the PlayStation side. It's moved over, and somebody that was kind of dominating the first round and had him on rubbery legs, utilized his grappling, utilized the mixed martial arts aspect of the game, and did it with a 4-star character as well. So it'll be interesting to see those two in the future. Maybe a match, maybe a rematch in the future between them two. That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was a really, really entertaining bout. I know these guys are going to meet down the road, and ultimately it doesn't. You know, it's not about some of the losses. It's about how you lose from those losses. Tonight wasn't his night, and you know, ultimately he's just going to go back to the drawing board. But he put it all out there. He, you know, went to a decision. It was a very, very fun bout, and just, you know, for his debut on the Xbox side, that was a tough fight for him as well, right, Humble? He had a lot of rep coming across from the PlayStation side, so he got a tough opponent on the outs, but that was a tough match. BSD boys, no joke, especially that Mix-Ups.
Yeah, definitely. Skitch has got to learn a lot from that fight. I love watching Skitch fight just because of the combinations and stuff, but sometimes that's to his detriment because, you know, sometimes they need to pick your moments to throw those types of shots and throw and get flashy KOs and do different stuff. And usually he's really good at it, but I could see it in that fight. He was trying to force the KO a bit too much, and he'll know that himself as well. Going into his next fight, and maybe some lessons to be learned for him going forward. But we now move on to our main card of this evening, and we're going to be kicking it off with an absolute banger on the PlayStation side between A55 Zigot versus Naz. This is going to be an absolute killer fight, Cyrus. I cannot wait for this one. Zigot coming in at 1-0. Currently, he was my former striking coach, taught me a lot about the striking game. He's got excellent setups. He's coming off a win in his debut against a tough opponent as well. And you've got Naz. He is the current champion of Cage Rage. He's fighting for a belt in the UFL. He's doing quite well. Hasn't started off as he'd want to in the PrimeTime division, and this season going 1-2. But he's looking to rectify that, change the course of the action, and get a win against a really tough opponent going forward, Cyrus.
Yes, sir. I expect big things starting out this 7-fight main card that we have ahead of us. These two gentlemen, like you say, on the PlayStation side of things, are very, very well known within the community, having a lot of success outside of PrimeTime, and looking to try and replicate that here this evening under the very bright lights. But we will see how they get ahead of us. Just a quick rundown as we wait for Easy Passion to ready up right there. Of course, the main event here this evening is going to be FSK Fadinator, the former champion, a fan-friendly favorite. I say it all the time, but he is. Because of his style, he often brings it in each and every fight there, Humble. More often than not, finds that he gets his hands raised, and of course is trying to get back into that title picture with Trixie. But of course, as we said, Big Nige, that 7-1 streak, brother, that's a scary streak, and he seems to be ready.
Yeah, both of these guys in the chat, both of them perking, both of them ready to go as we wait for Easy Passion to finish his TikToks or whatever he's doing at the moment. The guy's got a massive following. I'm always jealous of like how many people always watching and thinking on his content, because it's always great, it's always good, and he always come in drones in the chat. You know, they're always after you, and he talks a lot of shit as well as you join service. And he tells you he's going to beat your ass. I love it. I love champions and different organizations and different stuff that are always challenging. Like I said, this could be a main event of another league or another, but we've got it as the first fight of a main card in PrimeTime. So we're going to be a privilege to see it as we see a TJ Dillashaw versus Aldo pick going forward, Cyrus.
Yeah, beautiful, and I have to say, appreciate this 4K quality we seem to have ahead of us. These guys are representing here this evening, both in the way that they're approaching this bout. Beautiful mix-ups from Easy Passions. He may have been a couple of seconds late to the start of the fight, but my God, is he ready? Absolutely unleashing combinations. Although the GOAT, you Humble, seems to be very composed, mixing in the feints.
Yeah, he's an expert of movement, and he's an expert of patterns as well. He's one of them people who starts a bit slow. I do the same. Start very slow and try to make reads. It's all about reads, and that's what you'll be looking for right now as Easy Passion unloads. And Easy Passion has just come out, and again, we keep saying they chose violence, but he's chose to box with Jose Aldo and use beautiful combinations and just tag his opponent, trying to get ahead quickly on the scorecards. It's never a bad strategy against such good strikers as Zigot. But Zigot firing back, trying to find his combinations at the moment and make those reads as we move forward into the last 3 minutes of this first round.
Yeah, they're going at it pretty heavily. Easy Passion, definitely the guy that's been kind of pushing the action in terms of the combinations, the head kicks, but Zigot sticking to what has got him to the dance, being very, very calm and calculated, attacking the legs, checking a lot of the attacks coming his way in terms of the return leg kicks. It's a very much a pick-em fight at this stage, Humble, and I expect it to continue to be like this until one of them gets that big moment that they're looking for.
Yeah, definitely. And I'd like to see Zigot come down the middle a bit more. He's currently trying to kind of match strike for strike with Easy Passions, but Easy Passions doing a fantastic job of landing his boxing combinations. Oh, we're going to see a slam right now, I believe. No, we're not. He's took the back, though, against that cage. Usually you go for the slam right there, depending on the computers, the person's animations. But yeah, takes the back. He's going to drain his stamina right now. This is going to be interesting because the rear naked is obviously banned. I hope Zigot knows that as he goes to the ground. And
yeah, he does. But like you say, a bit of a mistake on his opponent. He didn't back himself up against the cage to stop that stamina drain, and as a result, found himself pretty easy to get rolled over into top mount when they hit the mat.
Yeah, the arm bars there, so I was very surprised that he didn't go for that one. But, got some excellent grapplers as well with the goat. We've seen it last time he fought as well. He did choose to grapple his opponent slightly, and it's definitely in his back pocket. He is no slouch on the ground either.
I think it's an intelligent move up against somebody like Jose Aldo, especially here, Humble, because, obviously he's so explosive, especially in those early rounds. If you can drag him into the second or even third round and make sure that he's worked to get there, even if you're not winning the seconds of those rounds, it just puts you in a good position due to that stamina drain.
Yeah, it stops your opponent getting in rhythm as well, like on the feet. Like, it definitely looked like Naz was getting it going right there. As he got dropped to the floor and the body shots. Oh, I can't get my words out. As he lands some amazing body shots. I wasn't expecting that. Drops in with a knee. And now Easy Passion is on the ropes. Oh, my dear. Sorry, I was getting excited there.
No, you're all good, brother. That was an incredible change of pace. The knee to the face sits him down. I mean, really, really turned it up. What was that? Like 2-3 knockdowns in a row? Am I wrong?
Yeah, I believe he got 2 rocks and a knockdown, or 2 knockdowns in a row. Yeah. Beautiful work from Zigot, but it all came from the mix-up, right? It came from speaking about mix-up in the last fight, mix-up in this fight was the takedown, and then obviously the cage work as well. When your opponent's in that sort of striking and he's doing a fantastic job of just picking you apart, or putting the pressure on you and landing. One thing I really liked about Easy Passion in that round, he was landing the kicks on the exit, which people don't quite understand, that when your opponent's moving away, that's when you should be landing your kicks, not when they're coming towards you, not when they're stood in front of you because they can land a shot. When they're moving away and you set that up with your hands, that's what he was doing really well. But great work from Segot at the end, which probably secured him the round.
Yeah, and a big takedown to start out round 2. This is a man that is really, really trying to enforce his will coming into this bout. He had a bit of a tough time starting it out. Easy Passion was obviously turning it up quickly, but that now may be starting to play a bit of a factor as the GOAT is starting to chip away at Aldo and, getting little advantages any way he can. Nice work.
Yeah, beautiful work. Now going back to the body from Segot, and Easy Passion really trying to find his striking ability again, but he's got to be worried about the takedown now, and that's what Segot did. He planted that seed in the head as he gets hit with a beautiful spinning back kick. Aldo and Easy Passion is always dangerous. He's got to be careful. What a fight we currently have on our hands for the first one in the main card, Tyrus.
Yeah, no, they're really not discriminating on where they're planting these strikes. A lot of feints out here. Lovely grappling mixed in with some beautiful striking. A big missed head kick. But I honestly believe that the GOAT is just keep being the more technical of the two, the more efficient of the two. And as a result, is the man that's on course to win this bout. But as you said, Easy Passion, as he lands a big head kick, ever dangerous, continuously looking for a massive opportunity for some sort of explosive shot to take his opponent out of the equation.
Yeah, definitely. And he was asking for a title shot last week. And this guy, if he wants a title shot, he needs to be able to win fights like this against opponents like Segot, who are currently trying to move up the division to 2-0. He needs to come back as he gets clocked right now and he's dropped on his bum. And Segot is an excellent finisher. He will set up some beautiful combinations. You've got to be careful at all costs.
He is turning it up. He smells blood in the water. Another body rock for the GOAT. Sits him down with the left hook, Humble, and now the ground and pound. Maybe closing out the bout.
It's over! Easy Passions has been finished by Segot in the second round. Incredible performance from Segot, making the necessary adjustments. That's what good players do, and Easy Passions will not be happy with that one. But against such a tough opponent in Segot, and Segot moves to 2-0 now, a force to be reckoned with in that PlayStation division.
Yeah, quite clearly a dangerous man no matter where the fight goes. Striking, grappling, or everything this man seems to bring to the table. As you said, his opponent, props to him, Easy Passion. Quite clearly a man that likes to put on a show. Not able to get his hand raised here this evening, but, I'm sure he'll go and make the necessary adjustments. And I thought I saw it in the original playthrough, and I just have it confirmed on
bullshit.
the... yeah, that was bullshit. He posted that.
Literally had his fucking hand out like this.
Still respect, right? The man was pressuring like a madman, but I'm sure he posted that, bro. I'm sure he posted that.
Had some controversy to the end, but obviously he was getting beat in the lead up to the fight, and there might have already been a formality, but you don't like to see that fucking hell game. Like, you got to give the guy a chance to defend himself, and if he's doing the right thing and posting his hand out, it literally didn't go nowhere near his freaking head. It's just stupid mechanics within your game here. But yes, anyway, sorry, lightweight champion versus FSK Jakey is next, and Segot gets an excellent win, which will push him up down PlayStation ranks. Maybe, just maybe in the future, we might see a Humble Dink versus Segot, student versus kind of teacher matchup, which I'd honestly we've probably had about 5,000 fights between us and just have the best fights ever. So I'd love to fight that guy in the future. He's one of my good friends and, you know, a fantastic fighter in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I would not be opposed to seeing it, brother. Maybe we can get on the same card that me and Chinsworth throw some hands. But with all of that being said, we're going to be seeing lightweight champ taking on FSK Jakey. Obviously a recent addition, leaving EK, joining FSK. I was aware of it literally earlier on today in the chat, and this is his debut for FSK, I do believe, so he's going to be looking to prove a point. He appears to be picking a Robert Whittaker. It's maybe a Robert Whittaker mirror match, as lightweight champ also is readied up and raring to go in this one.
Yeah, definitely. And both these guys are unbeaten at the moment in their respective divisions, and, you know, that's going to be an interesting one. Someone's all has to go. We're asking these guys about each other, and when kind of trying to stir the pot a bit, you know. Jakey was not very nice with his words at the moment for him. He said, "I don't know this bum." That's exactly his words going into this one, and those words, from my perspective, are fighting talk. That would give me the extra motivation to win this one.
That sounds like Jakey.
Yeah, he said, I respect every man that's got the balls to face me, but, you know, I'm going to beat him. It's simple as that. And the respect, you know, kind of threw out the window from that point, courtesy of myself, but I apologise to Doctor for having to deal with all these issues today that I've caused. But, you know, it is what it is. These guys don't like each other going at this one, and it's about to show in this fight.
Look, mixed martial arts is not just purely about the skills on display, it is about the storylines that go with it, Humble. As we start out in this tight camera angle, knowing that whoever is using it is... Oh, it must be EK Jakey, is it not? I don't
This is like a good old gypsy fight at the moment. These two stood in the pocket, just absolutely fucking throwing hands at each other. You can just tell already the animosity's built from the chat that's already been going on, and Jakey wants to prove a point. Bolrag wants to prove a point. It's going to be interesting to see who wins this one between lightweight champ and Jakey.
Nice little slip hook landing for FSK Jakey. Nice little pullback. He's quite clearly been working on his hands since he's joined the FSK boys. He was looking good with his hands prior to that, you know, at the end of his term with EK, but this is where he does his most damage there, Humble. The ground and pound is absolutely sensational from EK Jakey. His all-round top game is nothing to be sniffed at.
Yeah, you've got the FSK boys now appearing in the chat, cheering on their boy. But yeah, definitely the ground game's got to be looked at from lightweight champ, as he gives up top mount right there. Luckily, he didn't get stopped with his transition. But again, Jakey now picking up patterns, and it's going to be interesting to see if he goes the same way he does. Jakey doesn't actually realise that yet, but goes to side control, and that's what we're looking at the moment, isn't it, Cyrus? Jakey will be looking for those patterns, constantly getting in the same position and seeing which way his opponent kind of moves at the moment.
Exactly right. He's going to continue to chip away at his opponent any way he can, looking for those patterns to make sure that he can maximize on any openings as the bout continues. He's a guy that doesn't take long to make those reads as well, and does often like to absolutely blast ground and pound. I mean, he is definitely a ground and pound guy over a submission guy, I would say. Not that he can't submit, it's just that he prefers to pound your face into a bloody mess on that canvas. Who
doesn't? You know, the ground and pound is always a nice little addition. I wish they'd bloody had elbows to the game, but they haven't yet. And the ground and pound, especially the body work, because I know they up that as well. Jakey could utilise that, but he gets flipped at the moment, and this is going to be interesting to see now if lightweight champ can hold that position. But he's going to hit the body. He's no slouch on the ground himself, and he's going to try and prove that to Jakey. And just as we talked about earlier on, you can't let Jakey think he's got it all on the ground his own way, right? You've got to kind of be proactive on that ground game and make sure that they know that you can do that as well.
Yeah, completely agree with you. He's doing a good job of it, you know, using his jab at the moment. His lightweight champ EKJ, he is definitely trying to opt for more head movement and combinations. Nice little 1-2s, moves his head. I'm liking what I'm seeing. He's made some adjustments to his game, but he is setting up a pace that's going to be difficult to hold on to, especially with that body work that's coming his way.
That straight to the body right there during a combination is beautiful. I like to use the jab myself as well, but you got to be careful of the uppercut. But he used it perfectly, middle of the combination, made his opponent miss, and he's still getting caught a bit too much though at the moment. Jakey kind of using similar combinations throughout and very accurate, and you know, hitting that block. He got caught right at the end. Didn't get dropped though. Nothing happened there, Cyrus. Didn't even count on the scorecards, I guarantee it.
No, bro. I mean, that was a big moment. That head kick was just about missed. The millimeters is all that was in that one. I imagine they're going to start out with the same pace. When something like that happens at the end of the round, Humble, you know that the second one is is coming out the gates hot.
Yeah, definitely when Jakey is putting in the chat, who's this Div 12? Div 12 boom, as he hits him and knocks him to the ground. But you know, this lightweight champ's not a Div 12 bum, by the way. He's got a different account on PlayStation as well, and he's a very, very, very good striker. And as you can see right now, he's holding his own this fight, and Jakey's got to be careful because he is unloading a lot of different strikes and whiffing at the end of his combinations, even though he is doing a lot of damage. He can get caught being a bit too cocky in this fight if he doesn't give a bit of respect to lightweight champ.
Yeah, no, definitely so. But just like that, the 1-2, and you see already the damage that was doing to EK Jakey, so he has to be wary of the combinations he's throwing. He doesn't want to completely run away with his stamina, but he has had a lot of damage landed, Humble, and that may be the ultimate, kind of defining factor in this bout. If he's just able to put together a couple more combinations that all land flush.
He's definitely landing a lot, and it's a lot with the jab left, the lead hook. Constantly trying to catch his opponent circling in, but I do believe that lightweight champ's starting to make some adjustments now, maybe a little too late, but catching Jakey right there, and Jakey going for a lot of similar combinations. He gets dropped, and lightweight champ's had a lot of time at reading his patterns as he tries to finish his opponent. He doesn't rush it though. Nice work so far from lightweight champ. Jakey has now got to give lightweight champ the respect he deserves because he's been dropped in this round, and that was beautiful reading, beautiful studying and not rushing in from lightweight champ. He knew he was still in the fight, believed in his own skills, and Jakey is now on his back.
Yeah, and just more to the point of what you said earlier, he's quite clearly a veteran player. He was building up GA in that full guard with full respect to FSK Jakey. Knew that this man had the denials on point, did not want to give him the opportunity for an easy reversal. Just like that, even with the GA being built there, Humble, it's tough to do something against Jakey. He just has a certain understanding for the mat and is really, really able to shut his opponents down in those positions, as we see him now finding himself in this half guard.
Yeah, and he's going to try and get top mount again, as we see from the first round, but the stamina is very low for Jakey, and that can be used against him, especially with the grappling. As I say that, he gets turned. Beautiful work from lightweight champ. You can clearly see that both these guys are very skilled and very well versed, and they're both going to have to respect each other's skill set after this one. This has been a pure war.
Yeah, both of them got supporters in the chat as well. The FSK boys out in force, and of course got a couple of the gentlemen on the other side saying, nope, let's go lightweight champ. We got Balrog trying to get the job done, having a lot of adversity, but starting to get a bit of momentum, I suppose, with that stamina advantage that he has, going into this third round, potentially. Don't know what the recovery's going to be like.
Just to remind everyone, the blue gloves are definitely from Balrog's side, and the red gloves are from Jakey's side, as they're both the mirror matches. We usually get confused with these two. But yeah, Balrog doing a fantastic job of just, not taking too much damage, so he's still in the fight, and then landing them counter strikes when his opponent is at maximum vulnerability in that one. Very, very close rounds. Very, very close rounds. I do not know who's winning it, but like I said, it's usually always down to the third round anyway, Cyrus. So the winner of this round could very much take away this fight.
I completely agree with you. We got to see the statistics momentarily there too. The second round is quite clearly going to be lightweights. First round for EK Jakey, but it's all about the positioning of this third one. Look at the stamina of lightweight champ, and now he's going to turn it up on FSK Jakey and maybe try to make him eat those words that he was spouting a little bit earlier. He has a big advantage in this bout now.
Yes, definitely. When someone calls you a Division 12 bum, and you're a good player to your face in a chat when you're being respectful to them, it's got to light a fire under you, and that's exactly what it's done to lightweight champ. He's currently on top of his opponent. He's trying to secure this round. He's denying FSK Jakey, and FSK Jakey at the moment is not getting any success with the grappling that he's so used to going forward. Maybe some disrespect has played against him in this one, Cyrus.
Potentially, brother. Potentially. I mean, he is definitely in a dire position, and this is where lightweight champ needs to rise above. And just like that, the little stutter step into the combination, he is quite clearly feeling himself right now as he's unloading with additional body shots, Humble, and sits him down.
He's starting to taunt him as well. This guy is in confident mode right now. He believes he's got Jakey on the ropes. Jakey's got to be regretting the decision to shit talk the lightweight champ, because that might have been the wrong guy to shit talk, as we can see right now by the stamina and the health from EK Jakey. But who knows how the first two rounds have been scored so far.
I believe there was 2 knockdowns in the second round, so I think it is 1 apiece. I think we were right a little bit earlier on, brother. So it is. I pretty much all down on this third round, I believe, and he lets him onto another hook, sits him down, and now tries to go for the ground and pound finish. This may be FSK Jakey's. Oh, I was going to say loss on his debut for the FSK boys. That would be a shame for him. He's never out of the bouts, Humble, even though he's getting absolutely rocked here. He's going to continue to dig deep and try to find a way to win it. Only a minute 25 left on the clock to do so.
He needs to do something big right now, and I believe that's kind of playing against him as well because he's overextending. He's in a position where he's trying to win the fight as he lands a push kick to the face. Beautiful work. He goes for his opponent, but doesn't have enough stamina going forward. And now a lightweight champion is going to try and cruise to the last 50 seconds and maybe try and finish his opponent, but maybe not take any risks. Beautiful work with the uppercuts right there, Cyrus.
Yeah, this is the fight over. It's literally only going to take... How is he still alive? He landed 3 punches with no health. FSK Jakey has a chin of granite here this evening, Humble.
It's got them cheats in, hasn't he? The you cannot knock me out cheat, similar to the when you wouldn't be able to score on FIFA back in the day when someone attacked them cheats in the fake wall. But yeah, these guys are putting a show on. 7 seconds left, 5 seconds left. A lot of bad blood in this one, but a great fight. Bad blood always makes for a good fight. Lovely, absolutely love it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll see which way the judges score it. I've got to imagine the lightweight champ has got his hand raised here this evening, but one hell of a bout all round, Humble. Wasn't expecting anything less. Excellent fight to take us further into this main card, my man.
Definitely. This is why I asked these questions in the chat. These questions build for these fights. There's a bit of shit talk going on. What a fight. Just back and forth war. Jakey again, though, he has all the skills in the world to just beat a lot of these competitors, but maybe just that you've got to think in hindsight, maybe that just, the disrespect from his opponent, not really taking him seriously. He wasn't efficient enough in this fight. I know he could be better than that as well, but lightweight champ just did a fantastic job, and he goes to 2-0 now, and he's looking to be a force going forward into the Xbox division, and maybe that was a win over a top competitor to say, I'm here, I need some bigger fights. And we've got another addition that a fantastic competitor in the division as well, which we seem to keep getting, Cyrus. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, exactly right, man. Exactly right. People are coming through, showing their skills off time and time again. Love to see that guy continue to fight. I mean, that was a great performance for him on the Xbox side. Wasn't as familiar on the PlayStation side, but quite clearly showing that he is, he's no joke, bro. He's no joke. He's just got a nice feather in his cap. Up against FSK Jakey. But that does take us into the next one. I know that they are raring up the bit. We have FSK Jamie Bucks up against Kickboxing King. I'm not sure what camp Kickboxing King is part of now. He was part of AJS. I'm not sure if he joined some of the guys over in the TFA side of things. Or maybe he's just gone independent. Either way, Volkanovski Aldo 3-3 record should make for a very, very entertaining bout here, Humble.
Yeah, definitely. And asking these two about each other, they had a lot of respect for each other. KB King said that he won the last fight, though, that they played against each other, but that doesn't usually mean anything in these sorts of things. As you can see, the 3-3. Sorry, I expected a beautiful performance from both guys as we move into these mid cards. And let's see who's got the skills to get the wins in this one, Cyrus.
Yes, sir. Jamie Bucks taking his patented kind of calm, back-footed approach, looking for those combinations, already having a lot of success. Volkanovski has to be careful. Doesn't take too many from Aldo to completely turn off the lights. He decides to go for the single leg turning takedown, Humble. Jamie Bucks, no slouch anywhere, and quite clearly trying to test his opponent, well, everywhere, early.
Definitely. These guys, again, we're having another undefeated fight from both guys, so someone has to go again from these two as they're both 1-0 each of them. So fantastic performance so far from Aldo as he gets into crucifixes. This is not where you want to be if you are Volkanovski. Beautiful ground and pound again. What do you do from here, Cyrus?
Personally, I kind of often look for the arm traps when somebody's raining down the elbow. That's when you hold right trigger and try to flick it, but that's going to be tough. He is pouring it on.
Oh, he's out.
Lovely defense.
Wow. We're from in a terrible position to back to your feet. That's exactly what you want. And now he's got to be scared. He's got to be worried because you've got to be careful and you can't let your opponent get in a position where they can hurt you again. And beautiful swear right there. Surprised it wasn't a rock, Cyrus.
Yeah, I mean, he swayed, landed a good shot, but wasn't enough. Obviously, the chin holding up. Kickboxing King looking for some pullbacks. Jamie Bucks really favoring that lean off hook or straight that he's throwing as well. He has to be careful that some of those hooks don't really catch him. Volkanovski also hits like a heavy-handed motherfucker. So yeah. Oh my God! Front kick lands for Aldo.
I've got to be impressed with Buck so far. He's doing a fantastic job on the ground, on the feet, everywhere. He's just mixing up really well. But the resilience and also the just the durability of Volkanovski is incredible on this. You've got to be careful because his recovery is one of the best in the game, if not the best in the game. So, you know, you might be winning the round against him, but he never goes away. He is literally a cockroach in this game. You just can't get rid of him, and every time you stamp at him, he multiplies.
Hilarious. He is postured up right now. Is Jamie Bucks trying to take the back momentarily? He has an incredible ground game. I also very highly rate his striking. He has some beautiful pressure, as you would expect from the FSK boys all round. Having a difficult time trying to take the back of Kickboxing King, though. His defense holding up so far. So much so there that he gets his opponent to get off him for the last 50 seconds, potentially allowing him with some opportunity to land some big shots to the body or the head.
Yeah, I like how he's kind of how KB King's been in his face a lot at the moment. I call this false pressure. You get in your opponent's face, and you try to make the miss as he gets front kick to the face right there, and this could be it for KB King, as I said. Oh, wow. Amazing from Jamie Bucks. He gets the finish late in the first round. Beautiful work. That front kick was perfectly timed, Cyrus. Beautiful shot.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get more perfectly timed than that right there. Jamie Bucks quite clearly locked on point here this evening, potentially cornering his teammate out in the last one. Maybe saw the mistakes that he made, did not want to take his opponent lightly, and came out here with a point to prove. He did so, and did so with some style points. I mean, just non-stop pressure, non-stop kind of all-round success that he was able to land. You know, just being incredibly efficient there, Humble, and able to pick himself a lovely W.
Yeah, lovely W. He goes to 2-0 now as well in the Xbox division. So the last lightweight champ goes to 2-0. He goes to 2-0, you know. He might want to get some revenge on his FSK Jakey right there just as he wins that fight. But maybe a fight to set up in the future. But Jamie Bucks, got to be proud of his performance right there. Excellent working. I just love the timing that he had in that fight. I was worried about the stamina, as I was about to say. KB King using that false pressure to try and, but he maybe just stood in the pocket a bit too much as he got caught with that front kick. And he can't be down on himself too much, because Jamie Bucks came out with a point to prove, and KB King was just caught in the headlights, didn't really get started in that fight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. However, my man, that does now take us on to the very next fight in the main card, I should say. It is going to be Jake Paul up against not the man you see on the graphic. It is going to be Zane UK stepping in on short notice to fight the ever infamous Jake Paul, AJS's very own. This man has had some fantastic striking all around so far, looks to continue to extend his winning records within Primetime MMA with the Conor McGregor pick, up against Zane UK, who appears at least to be using Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, I've had a lot of different correspondence today from this fight. Even when the changes make, Jake Paul, you can imagine what he said. He said, I'll explain one of the things. He said, I'm going to fuck him up, Humble. Then he tagged me in that 15 different times to tell me he's going to fuck him up, while telling his opponent he's going to try and dance on his wife's unconscious head, which, wow, you know, is just ridiculous in this one. But Jake Paul is a character. He wants to be seen as a character. He wants to be seen as over dramatic, and he's going to be fighting Zayn. The problem you've got with that is we've just seen it. We've seen it in a fight with Jakey. When you do insult your opponent, you can either wake the sleeping beast, and they can be more efficient. It can motivate your opponent to have a better performance against you, and that's sort of the characteristics and the things that I'd like to see from these type of fights when your opponent is talking. It all is in fun, isn't it, Cyrus? But at the same time, it can cause a bit of distraction from Jake Paul, because now he's going to back it up.
Yeah, no, definitely so, and a little bit of an adjustment. His game attack still says AJS, so all the guys atting me, I'm still right. Nah, he joined TMF, so Jake Paul's now part of TMF, although his game attack is still saying AJS.
Change your name if you're
I know, bro.
You're technically still repping. You're still repping. Oh, his controller's disconnected. This is dangerous.
No, he's back. I think it's just that bug.
Oh, yeah. When that happens, usually, you know, I can go sour. But we've got a bit of a grudge match right now, Cyrus, as your camera's gone off. But, you know, the body shots from Poirier, is he going to go to the legs? Is he going to kick those legs, Cyrus? It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to get some success. I mean, obviously, Dustin Poirier's power translates in this in this game as well. And I don't feel like Conor McGregor does as well. It's a very, very good matchup for Dustin Poirier. A lot of people prefer the Conor McGregor pick, but I just feel like Dustin just has a couple more tools that allow him to be successful in these sorts of matchups.
Nice work, yeah, he does, and he's going to try and utilize his grappling as we get the slam that I was talking about earlier on. So we get it right now with Dustin Poirier, which is strange that we didn't get with TJ, but we got it with Dustin. Very nice. He's going to decide which way he's going to go. Beautiful fake right there, and he gets to a more safer position. As you know, the Jake Paul could have stood up right there and got that fence position, and beautiful work from him. I'm really liking how Zane's playing so far. Very efficient so far, Cyrus.
Yeah, I mean, he quite clearly has the respect for Jake Paul. He knows his striking is on point. Wanted to get him down early and really, really weighing down on his opponent. I mean, obviously, not that this plays a big factor, but they were 5-9 going into this. So, he's been on the losing end plenty of times against Jake Paul, and he's obviously picked up a couple of W's as well. So he quite clearly is going to be very, very confident in his abilities to get the W, but also concerned about the successes that Jake Paul can have when he puts it all together.
And this is where I was talking about earlier on. If somebody starts talking shit to me in a chat, it motivates me. Sometimes I play casual, just playing about, and if they beat me, I don't really care. Blah, blah. But when someone starts talking, it's on a stage. I want to prove a point, and that looks like Zane right now at the moment. But he's got to be careful of them big shots coming from Jake Paul as he tries to land some huge boxing combinations from Conor McGregor.
Yeah, this is where Jake Paul wants to be. As you see right there, a nice little four-punch combination, a slip returned with a straight. He is in the flow state when he's on the feet, especially when he's got Conor McGregor on the other end of the pad. This is not great for Zane UK. He needs to continue to work that jab, try to get some counters, and obviously mitigate this damage, because the combinations from Jake Paul are pretty sensational.
Yeah, beautiful work from Jake Paul right now. It's all about positioning at the moment. I'm seeing.
My.
Oh, he's docked him. He didn't get a rock, though. He's gone to the body. He's going to try and get as much damage off as he can now, but not too much right there. So Zane escaped with a scratch and a sliver, but McGregor is going to try and put the pressure on. Now you can't take too many of those combinations, Cyrus. They're going to eventually catch up with you and maybe knock you out or put too much damage on you.
Yeah, I mean, he's durable, but my God, is Zane UK answering back. You can see the head health of Jake Paul having a lot of issues as he goes to the knee to the body. Honestly, this is a back-and-forth fight. Both guys really trading momentums. I cannot say more about this. This is a very entertaining bout.
People, when they shit talk each other, fight better. Beautiful work. He's going for the knockouts. Oh, the uppercut. It just happened. I don't know what it is about these fights where there's bad blood, but they just have a point to prove every single time. You can see the level of fighting goes up as well. The mutual respect goes out the window, and they're trying to take each other's head off at every aspect of the fight. It's beautiful to watch.
Yeah, they do touch them up in the second one, but they're still fighting like they've insulted each other's mothers. Knee to the body for for Jake Paul, I should say. Nice jab from Zane UK. Back and forth, like I said, just back and forth. Kind of every time one of them gets a bit of success, the other one just answers back with something nice and makes sure that that mutual respect is held throughout the entire first round, and looks like it's going to continue much into the second.
Yeah, it's all about one-upping your opponent, isn't it? You get me, I'll get you. You get me, won't get you. It's very common in sparring as well, but these two are doing a fantastic job, and I'm liking what I'm seeing from Jake Paul's takedown defense right now, but we're going to see up against the fence of any sort of weaknesses, and Jake Paul decides I can't really land too much in there, but I'm really liking how Zane's trying to concentrate on the positioning at the moment. He's not letting Jake Paul back him up as where he's had his success in the past, and he's really trying to hold his ground in the center of that octagon, or try to get him against the fence where the grappler will become more useful for him.
Yeah, his lateral movement at the moment is absolutely fantastic. The up kick of doom stops the ground and pound from Zane UK. However, obviously Jake Paul very content to continue the striking. Feels like he has an advantage there. However, needs to be mindful of the power that's in, standing opposite him there, Humble. Just too many times has Zane UK landed a combination or shot for that single leg and had a lot of success with it.
And the persistence with the takedown as well. He eventually shoots his third takedown of this round and gets it after 2 denials. And that is persistence. That is chain wrestling non-stop. I'm not going to give up on a no right there. And doing a great job as well, because Jake Paul's stamina looks to be lower than Zane's. And Zane moves to mount right now, and he had some success in the first round. So not a bad strategy to mix it up, because the striking gets mixed up when you do mix it up on the ground as well.
Yeah, exactly right. Those takedowns can often set up your hands, because your opponent, is going to start lowering those hands, expecting a shot, and of course you come across over the top, much like Khabib did with that overhand against Conor McGregor, it really does set up those hands and can make even an average striker be able to strike with some of the better strikers in the world. A good time takedown, some good work on the ground. It has a world of a difference on a fight.
Well, of course, and it still baffles my head that people don't realize that as we go for an arm triangle. And I was about to say prime example would be Usman and Masvidal, but you can see the chase right now is beginning, and it looks like at the moment Jake Paul's in a safe position, but this can change rapidly. It can change rapidly any moment, especially with that stamina, and we're looking for reads right now as he's starting to make them, and Zayn UK is moving into the later stage of this choke right now, Cyrus.
Bro, he could get it. He could get it. This is very close. It does look like escape is imminent, but I honestly thought he was going to get it for a couple of moments. I mean, that was a sticky position for Jake Paul. He needs to be wary of it. These denials are raining down. Some ground and pound to follow it. Got his head hurt, maybe trying to close it out, but not enough stamina, Humble, at the end of that second round. These guys trying to empty everything in the cage here this evening. They have one last round to do so, 5 minutes ahead of us. I wonder if they're going to touch them up, brother. Looks like they are.
I like it. Mutual respect from each performance, and that's how you do it, man. You earn respect in that octagon. As he can't. Oh my God! Jake Paul drops his opponent. Maybe a problem from Zayn right there. He needed to keep that fire. He touches gloves and a false sense of security as he gets dropped. Oh, he doesn't get dropped. He gets rocked again, and he's going to take some more damage. And again, it's all about positioning. But beautiful spear takedown right there. Now he's in a safe position, Cyrus.
Yeah, but the thing is, after that big rock, he can't just try to hold on for time here, right? He needs the finish, like a big submission, or to cause some big damage. This tracking is looking good, my man. I mean,
this could be it right now. The sub defenses doesn't look like it's at its best. He's moving his bar way too quickly, and this is going to be it. He moves for the extension on the arm bar right now. He's going to put the thumb towards the sky. He's got his hands gripped around the wrist, and he makes Conor McGregor tap in the third round. Zayn UK coming out victorious and trying to put the finger over Jake Paul's mouth. Shh.
Mate, he is going to be happy about that one, especially with a bit of trash talk going into it. Being the man that was the underdog, he was 5-4, but he gets the 6th win under the bright lights out here, Humble, and he's going to be feeling on top of the moon, you've got to imagine, especially in a tough-fought bout just like this one. Jake Paul didn't just have a bad night, he got outbeat by the better fighter, on the night, brother, when it came that time.
Yeah, definitely in this matchup, especially, it was a great performance from Zayn UK, and Jake Paul's got to be proud of himself as well. He did have a good showing in there. Just the case of Zayn, he nearly got him in the third. Let's be real. Like, there was a point in that third round where I was thinking, if he continues this pressure, continues the striking, there's no way that Zayn's going to be able to do it. But the veteran savvy of Zayn going for that speed takedown as soon as his opponent stamina had dropped, and taking advantage of that, and then going for the submission. And that's what veterans do. They make the adjustments. Good players make the adjustments. That's what separates a good player from a great player, and a normal player to a good player. It's making the adjustments mid-fight that you need to make against these people, and that's what all these players do at the moment. Great performance from both guys.
Completely agree with you, brother. Completely agree with you. I believe up next we're going to be having Keza v Haroon. I'm just going to get that confirmed in the back. I think they're just going live as we speak. Obviously, Keza, another FSK boy, he has phenomenal pressure, Humble. I mean, he came out, he's I think the only loss on Trixie's record in this most recent season, and the result was because of some crazy hands. But we've seen from Haroon, he's a tough all-round guy and digs deep, likes to play the troll, but that often makes him rise to new levels when the lights are on.
Yeah, definitely. And these both guys sat in the top 10 of the Xbox division, looking to try and implement themselves in a higher position to cement yourself and set yourself up for a title shot, obviously. But this is where the tough fights come in. These top 10 guys, when you're fighting the likes of Haroon and Keza and asking these guys about each other, they had so much respect for each other, and you tend to find that when you've got the two guys at the top of the game in such high calibers. They respect each other, mutual respect, just as we see in the last fight, the touch of gloves in the last round. You know, a great fight, fighting each other, and when it goes back and forth and you're learning things from each other, you've got to show nothing but respect, and that's what these two have got going into this one. It looks like they've played each other quite a bit as well, so there seems to be some mutual understanding of what each other are going to do, and I love those types of fights because they're tactical chess matches.
Yes, sir. Well, I can see that they are definitely ready to go. They're just trying to have a little bit of an issue with the stream. No worries there, guys. No worries. But as we get ready for these two to go ahead, I mean, there's been some crazy fights here this evening. Any fights that stand out to yourself in particular, brother?
Yeah, I just want to ask a question. So the last fight we had was that a late replacement as well?
I believe so, actually. I believe so,
yeah. So the late replacement guys coming in tonight seem to have done a fantastic job of kind of coming in last minute, and I'm just thinking right there, just like the UFC problem of kind of missing that weight cut, Cyrus, and having them extra pounds. Is it an advantage in prime time to come in last minute, and kind of, is that something we're gonna have to think about in the future? Because these guys are coming in, you know, and making a statement against very good veterans, and maybe the anxiety's not there, the process of thinking beforehand, but it seems to have done these guys the world of good at the moment.
Yeah, no, exactly right. I think we pointed to it a little bit earlier on this evening. You know, quite simply, you just don't have time to get nervous, right? It's quite simply what happens. So you just don't have that time. So the good news is that they are now ready to go. Eddie Wineland is who they're offering us by the looks of things. I would be very surprised if they both go Eddie Wineland, in all honesty. He's actually a fighter that I quite like. Obviously, in the day especially, had some fantastic head movements, some very, very fast punches, but it's not exactly something you see every day, is it? A mirror match of Eddie Wineland in a bantamweight division, but the kind of upper end of the main card. I have to give it a little bit of respect to these guys. I don't know if there was an unofficial agreement coming into this one.
Yeah, usually there's an unofficial agreement when someone like that. I think it's that Tasha's probably give them the reason to pick this. But I think Eddie Wineland's such an underrated sort of fighter amongst it, because people don't realize that guy had a title shot. That guy got to the level of having a title shot against one of the greatest bantamweights of all time, which was Renan Barao, and he was doing well in that fight and got caught with a spinning back kick to the face. So great character and beautiful tattoos as well, Cyrus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love the back tattoo. Full sleeve on the left side, at least, or both sides, I should say, and of course the mighty mustache, just like Uncle Creepy back in the day. Two guys that had some mighty mustaches and some very fast hands. As we see Haroon get a head kick on Keza in the opening going, Keza trying to answer back with that big uppercut.
Beautiful work right now as he presses him back against the fence. It's all about positioning again. He's using that lead hook to kind of make his opponent dance to where he wants to go, but he gets caught with a big uppercut right there. This is a back and forth war at the moment between these two as the slugfest continues, Cyrus, in the center of the octagon, but more near the fence at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Haroon is really trying to turn up the pressure, but that's not a good idea up against Kessler unless you... Oh my god!
Wow! He gets him... So he gets him back against the fence right there. Beautiful trading right there, Cyrus. And that goes back and forth as you were saying it.
Honestly, I don't know what to say at this stage in the bout. Both guys having multiple rocks. We're only 2 minutes into the very first round, and they are letting everything go. I mean, if we see a second round, I would be surprised, not to jinx it. I mean, just look at the pace, Humble. Look at the pace, brother.
Oh, he gets dropped again. It is a back and forth one. This is what you tend to get amongst these amazing fighters, because they know each other so well. They know where the gaps are. They know where they're going to land their own shots, and that's what we're seeing, just at an extremely high pace at the moment.
Yeah, exactly right. Looks like Haroon trying to implement some of those front kicks now, trying to catch his opponent off rhythm. But Kessler is the eternal veteran. He will dig deep, will find an opportunity and a way to land those combinations, especially if you're going to be walking into his range. I mean, basically, unless you move your head. Yeah, I mean, he continues to do that. It's very well timed for Haroon.
Yeah, beautiful counter. He's getting caught a few times, though. These two, obviously, it's just all about zigging when you're supposed to zag, and it's just whoever the timing, who's better at the moment, because they've clearly both amazing. They know each other what they're going to do. But Haroon drops his opponent, decides not to finish, and beautiful work going back to the body, trying to constantly sway and counter his opponent, Cyrus.
Yeah, I think that maybe they went for a striking-only affair by the looks of things, did not decide to jump on him. We'll see if that's reciprocated when Kessler manages to sit him down at some point, but right now he's having a lot of problems. His stamina is very much waning. The head health on both sides are basically non-existent, or at least halfway gone at this stage. This is absolutely craziness.
Oh! He's going to jump though, and he's going to jump on his opponent. It's exactly what he should have been doing, and his opponent is finished. Oh my god! I can't believe he came back.
Well, I don't know if they made an agreement. Maybe that's just Haroon's boo-boo. Don't play with your food. FSK Keza out here doing the damn thing, Humble. Doing the damn thing.
Oh my god. Oh my god, what a fight that was. And I can't believe Haroon didn't jump on him at that point. He's got to be kicking himself at this moment, but I don't know what they've said, or I haven't checked everything that they've been said there, just because there was a lot of respect. I didn't expect them to you know, if they've come up with a mutual agreement, he's jumped. I love the draw. There's going to be drama in the future, but if they haven't, then he's done the right thing. Keza knows how important this is, and especially when you're down and you've got no stamina like that, you don't want to give your opponent a moment's notice or a chance to win. But Haroon has got to be kicking himself right now. Oh
yes, he's got to be. I said it was a fun fight as long as it lasted out here, Humble. This time FSK Keza getting his hand raised, sure that win or lose, that was an action-packed bout. I'm sure he would have been happy either way, but obviously a little bit extra when you are able to get the W over a pretty highly ranked opponent in Haroon. I know that he's been doing pretty well recently. I don't have rankings to hand, but I'm sure he's towards the upper end of those currently. But as we say that, we now move on to the co-main event. It is not as displayed on the card. It is going to be, as we said at the beginning of the event, Big Balls Ned up against former champion in Josh Ray, trying to come back and make a bit of a splash in this one, Humble, get his hand raised and potentially catapult himself into future title implications.
Yeah, he's been quiet lately, Josh. He hasn't really been playing the game as much as he usually does, but then he came back and absolutely destroyed me the other day. So Josh is just that person that he's just got so much knowledge and experience with this game that you've got to be careful no what. And Ned is currently on an absolute tear. He's on a 4-fight win streak. He hasn't had a loss in a while, and I think he revenged 2 of the losses that he's already had, and the only loss he's got to revenge, which was his full game plan to me, was Atikin. So he doesn't want to lose to Josh today, of course, and Josh is an extremely difficult opponent to fight, especially a former champion, someone who's already done it, someone who's already been able to capture that belt. But if you're going to fight Josh, it's right now. It's right now when he's not playing the game that much. He's trying his best to, kind of do some other things, but he's such a dangerous striker, and I know how good Josh is, so we'll see how Ned copes with this one. But if Ned wins this one, I don't think we can deny him a title shot against Atikin in that rematch going forward, because he's going to move to 8-2 with a 5-fight win streak, and I just cannot wait to see this fight. This fight's got absolute war written all over it.
Yes, title implications on the line for both gentlemen. Would be a big comeback for Josh Ray if he's able to get his hand raised here this evening. Short notice replacement. Maybe that trend continues, Humble. We've seen it time and time again here this evening. Yeah. I mean, you never know, brother. You never know. So obviously Big Balls Ned has been the active, bit more prolific in his more recent performances. Been incredibly active, in fact. And obviously that's why he's finding himself in this bigger spot here, fighting against RDA Josh Ray. I'm interested to see how this will go, but you've got to imagine the Big Balls Ned has got to turn up the pace early, rely on some of that chin and that cardio, try to burn away Josh Ray's stamina if he's going to have success.
Yeah, it's a 3-round fight as well. You've got to be careful of that, and if you fight him with Colby, the striking against RDA is one of Josh's favourite characters. We've got to see how Josh kind of approaches this one, because usually he's a technical beast of a striker. And he lands a massive uppercut right there, goes to the body. He's got his opponent hurt and goes to the body again. Josh will not rush anything as well, so we'll see how Ned kind of deals with this one, but he needs to get back. It's just crazy at the moment, Cyrus.
Sorry, acting to the absolute beauty of the head movement into the body rip. Josh Ray looking incredibly clean. Maybe the time away has allowed him to recenter his striking game, as we see Covington trying to dig back to the body and try to put some money in the bank, Humble.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to respect Big Balls Ned as well for taking this fight. You didn't have to, and you want to keep the show going alive today, so respect to him. But Josh Ray putting on a clinic at the moment. We're going to have to see Ned change it up in this one, because now you can tell he's a bit tentative of Josh Ray's striking, but beautiful work right there, firing back from Big Balls Ned.
Yeah, no, he is trying to answer the call here. Obviously, Josh Ray is feeling incredibly confident, ducking, diving, throwing punches, kicks in any which way that he needs to, having a lot of success doing so. And I feel like Big Balls Ned is maybe just allowing his opponent to go first a little bit too much, and we've seen it too many times to really ignore it. Colby is at his best, Humble, when he's pouring on the pressure, when he's the one going first. That's where his success lies.
And it's hard to go first when you're moving backwards, though. That's the issue. And it all begins with that movement of Josh Ray. If you watch his footwork, you watch his way he kind of feints shots. He knows when to throw kicks, he knows when to throw punches, and he never kind of throws something out of range or in range that he should have. Usually that's the reason he's always in position. He's always in position to throw the correct shot, and that's beautiful work, though, from Big Balls Ned. He lands the elbow right there, Cyrus, and this is dangerous now. It goes back and forth, returns the favour, goes back to the body, Cyrus. Beautiful work from both guys.
Yes, sir. Nice. Oh my God, the head movement is absolutely sensational. Loving what I'm seeing on display here this evening in the striking acumen from RDA. Having a couple of issues is Josh Ray in terms of some big returns from Big Balls Ned, showing that he's ever dangerous. But still, to the story to this day, right, or story to this fight so far, Humble, is that jab of RDA, the fact that it's setting up everything else that he does and allowing him to have so much success, brother.
Oh, wow. Josh Ray, just beautiful time. I'm really in admiration of that shot right there. Beautiful work. He's going to have a chance to finish. Big Balls Ned. Big Balls Ned trying to hold on for dear life, and Josh Ray gets the finish. Oh, my God. Once a champion, always a champion. Josh Ray comes back out of inactivity, taking a fight on short notice, and that seems to be a streak. But tonight, Cyrus, the guys who've come back and took fights on short notice, not that we're promoting this because it's a nightmare for us.
Yeah, no, it is a nightmare for us.
Not that we're promoting it. Just to be clear, not that we're promoting this, but there's been a lot of success from these guys that have kind of come in just wanting to fight, and that's what Josh did today. He messaged me and said, if there's any fights that drop out, please get me a fight in there. We couldn't get an opponent in the top 15 to fight Big Balls Ned because there was just no one available apart from myself, and I didn't think that was fair since I'm fighting Monday. And Josh Ray comes in and just, does what he does best. And like I said, hasn't fought in a while. So hasn't fought in 2 weeks and then comes and fights me and destroys me. Hasn't fought in 2 weeks, comes back and fights Ned and destroys him. He's just such a great fighter, and hopefully he continues, because I want to see him fight Atkin in the future if he can get to that point, because that would be an absolute incredible fight.
It really would, brother. It really would. I mean, and honestly, maybe what's on the cards for him, that's a big win, right? He's just beaten a guy on a nice big win record, co-main event of the, of the event. Oh, look, we have these guys. Sorry, they are ready. They're raring to go.
They're going. Oh, sorry. Let's go.
So we have the the former champion, I should say, in FSK, Fadinator, trying to get himself back into the title talks up against a 7-1 veteran in, SAFC fan is what he's got himself named on here. But of course, we all know him as the Big Nige, TFA's very own. He's going to be looking to get himself into his first title shot. These guys are very familiar with each other. They both support each other quite a lot, Humble, and they're oh my God. Sorry, I know nothing. I just saw their records. They've trained. Fadinator is the kind of like sensei to Big Nige and his brother. no, genuinely, like, you can ask them. So, I mean, this is
I did ask them. When asking them the question, I got from Big Nige that Fadinator is the best player in the world. He said it's a privilege to fight him, and then I also asked him if there's a mutual respect there. And he said, I'm a dick for asking that question. But when asking Fadinator that question, he kind of turned the gun back around onto, oh my God. I've just seen that record. Holy shit. That's a hell of a record. Anyway, when he turned that gun back around, and he said, no, he's stiff, he's sloppy, and he's full of weaknesses. Just like the rest of the division. Round 2 KO from me, of course. No respect.
Sounds like Fadinator.
It's just amazing that Fadinator said that. And Big Nige is obviously learned a lot from Fadinator, so he's in admiration of that. And you got to be getting yourself to a title picture in the first place, or for a number 1 contender spot, is thanks to Fadinator. So I've seen this so many times, though. I've seen this so many times, Cyrus. When you think that someone's a clear favorite going into this, I've seen somebody with a 20-0 record on someone get a beat in that one fight live on a main event. So
exactly,
anything can happen. Anything can happen in this. So do not count out Big Nige in this one. This is going to be incredible.
Completely and utterly agree with you. I mean, quite simply, right, it's about rising to that occasion, and sometimes it's about the passing of the guard. We'll have to see if that's the case here this evening. Obviously, we know that the former champion is ever dangerous, doing an excellent job of maintaining his distance. He is the one using, of course, Sugar Sean O'Malley. The 7-1 Big Nige is on the side of Peter Yan. As we see the Big Nige or Nigel Army hashtags going off in the chat. Like I said, this man's got a lot of support, as does the former champ.
Nigel, me, 100%. A lot of those guys in the chat just constantly spotting him. I do like the mutual respect between these guys, though. You can tell already these guys kind of know each other, but from my perspective, Nigel's got the better character, in my opinion. He's got to use them perks really well, especially the 5-round fight. Sean O'Malley's not known for the best of his stamina, so making Fadinator whiff would be to his, in my opinion, to his strengths, and he's got to try and take some leaves out of Trixie's book at the end of the day. Trixie's got the wins over Fadinator. You've got to kind of look at the weaknesses and maybe add some of that cheese in as well. If any time's the time to do it, now's the time to do it, Cyrus. You don't do it in sparring, you get 427 record. Do it in a real fight at the real time and throw him off at sometimes, you know?
Yes, sir. When the lights are brightest, that is when the diamonds are going to shine. And obviously, Big Nige has been an absolute diamond of a competitor so far so far in his kind of competitive career, so to speak. Likes to talk a bit of trash, has a lot of support, and every single time he's down to fight, it's going to be tough to get Fadinator off his A game, though. Only one man to this point has been able to do it. That is the current champion in EK. Trixie, sorry, I lost my trail of thoughts, but he is so dangerous that you just cannot take your eyes off the way that he performs. He's always such an entertaining striker and has that grappling to back it up if he needs it as well.
What I'm seeing so far is O'Malley's doing a great job with his boxing, but every time Nige goes for something dramatic and big, like a big kick or a big flying knee, he's struggling to land it, and Fadinator is just punishing him big time to the block. But every time Peter Yan and Nige go forward and he lands that box, he's actually having a lot of success with that. So it's interesting to see if he makes the adjustment and stops using them big kind of combinations and strikes with the spinning elbows, with the big knees, because Fadinator's kind of seen it coming and then punishing him accordingly afterwards.
Yeah, no, exactly right. He's just doing such a great job of maintaining range. He is actually using his block quite a lot, which could become a little bit detrimental because of things like that. What a spin kick as he's leaning off allows him to get back up. He needs to pour on the pressure when he gets those opportunities. Obviously, he is wary of not getting a little bit overzealous, not getting too carried away with his successes. But of course, you just also don't want to be too respectful, humble, and allow your opponent an opportunity to get back into the bout.
Yeah, they're throwing the spinning kicks now. You can tell how much Nige wants this. He really wants to win this fight, and I don't blame him. And you've got to throw the respect out the window at this point. If I'm fighting my teammate in the main event for a title shot, there's a mutual agreement beforehand that anything goes. Anything goes in this fight, and you know, afterwards we'll shake hands and be buddies. But for now, I want to fucking win this fight, and that's what I want to see from both these guys. Nige has to throw that respect out the window, and he needs to go after his opponent and after Fadinator to try and prove to himself and prove to the community that he's ready for this. He's ready for that title shot against Trixie.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, if he wins this fight, he goes to 8-1. Fadinator goes to 8-2, and he gets himself a title shot. Does Big Nige? Obviously, maybe the case for the former champion. Maybe he gets his chance back at Trixie if he gets this W over Big Nige. But honestly, so much to play for. Such high-level competitors, as you said, so familiar with each other. Oh my God!
Trixie's going after him. He's going against the fence, and he lands an uppercut from hell, and he's still alive. He's not out, referee. You stopped the fight too soon. What the hell?
FSK Fadinator picking up another big W over an absolute freight train of an opponent in obviously the TFA's Big Nige. That man, like I said, was on a 7-1, now moves to 7-2. No shame though. Humble, no shame. I mean, he got beat by a man that has quite clearly proven himself as one of the more kind of like top echelon players on the Xbox side of things time and time again. So, I mean, like you said, he was with him tonight and have the fight, and I think that he did himself pretty proud.
Yeah, he did. I feel like the respect there, if he gets rid of that respect and he obviously looks back at the fight, I think he's going to see some of the holes and the mistakes in his own game, because he's a great competitor, he's a great fighter. He'll see that when he threw those strikes, that big whiffs, that's when he got hurt. And it's all about one-upping your opponent and kind of getting that block down before, especially at that level. You know, Fadinator is such a fantastic competitor of being so accurate and efficient with his strikes that you can't give him an inch. And when you do give him an inch, it's something that he'll take for granted and kind of run away with. And that's exactly what he did. And he's been gunning for Trixie. Being a matchmaker myself, I do the PlayStation side a lot of it, but I get messages from Fadinator about Trixie saying he wants to fight him, and that's the man who's got his only losses to him in this league at the moment, on this division and this season, is to Trixie. And I believe he's lost to him 2 or 3 times already, and he's been asking for that fight. He wants to right the wrong, and it's nice to see someone so determined, because we give him 2 huge challenges to come back and dominate those. Both challenges shows that he's up there and he's still ready, and that is going to be a hell of a main event in the future. Trixie versus Fadinator to finally end that sort of rivalry between them two. If Trixie can get him done again, Fadinator is going to be struggling to kind of to win up that. But before we move on and before we, I'm guessing we're going to be raiding someone, we do have an event on Monday as well. It's going to be main evented by Moffat Man and Pudgy, and in the co-main event, it's going to be me versus Bang Bang. Do not miss that one. That's going to be an absolute corker. I can't wait to show my skills in that one and fight such a high level and top competitor in Bang Bang. But it's got a great card coming up on Monday, Cyrus.
Yes, sir. Make sure to check out the Monday card. That will be 8:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. That is UK Standard Time Zones. And then that will be 3:30 Eastern for all you gentlemen and ladies over in America. But it has been a pleasure calling these fights here this evening. We are now going to, like he said, push the love forward. Make sure to raid somebody. We're going to probably be going with iShowtime. So please join the raid. Show the love. Until the next one, until Monday, though, stay safe, enjoy these fights tonight, and much love.
Bye.